It's on.
It's on? Sound like it's on.
It's definitely on. What's going on, Black?
Nothing much. You out there in hot Atlanta.
Atlanta, where everything's pretty much normal here. There's no pandemic happening in Georgia.
Woo! I'm
Why
in
should say Atlanta?
California. I'm in California.
How's it going over there?
It's fucking retarded, man. I mean, they made masks mandatory, and then they got a COVID detective group. It's 3,000 people basically going around trying to do contact tracing and control the spread or whatever. And then what else are they doing? Oh yeah, people on welfare. They're talking about freezing their benefits if they don't get tested by
That's wild.
by June 22nd or July 1st. I forget what it was. But yeah, they're saying if they don't get tested by a certain time, they get their benefits frozen.
How are they gonna put them on a time crunch? Like they're on welfare.
Yeah, and it's a welfare state, you know what I mean? Democrat state, so it's a lot of people on welfare.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, socialist state is what I call it.
Meanwhile, Georgia, like, parks are popping. Everything's pretty much open again. I mean, for the most part. It's really been like, nothing's changed for me, really, at all. It's been pretty cool. I haven't worn a mask once, so I think it's been pretty cool.
It's nice little luxury you got going on over there.
Did you have to wear one the other day, like when you were like in the town?
Yeah, when I went into Walmart, yeah.
That's so lame. Would you like buy one? Where'd you get one from?
Man, I had a bunch of masks from because I was painting at one point out here. Yeah. And so I had a pack of masks that I still had, and I was like, wow, I guess I was just ready for whatever.
Higher self was like, look, yeah, get a pack of these.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some
You're
dumbness.
only gonna use one.
Right.
But
dumbness.
Yeah, it's retarded, man.
But anyway, we both just like not in society. I'm over here. I'm doing this from a van. Are you doing this from wherever you are in the world?
I'm doing it from one of my trailers.
Yeah. But, I don't even be knowing. I'm like, you could be in a cabin, you could be in a trailer, you could be sitting in the woods.
Yeah. Ultimately, I'm in the woods. But yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Fucking, it's funny because Dad was telling me that the nurses at his job was suggesting deep breathing exercises for the people that got it.
Yeah, that was the first thing she said.
It's a joke, man. So shit is a joke. The whole world is fucking sick. So they all need to do deep breathing exercises. I don't understand how we can isolate this down to
to just this thing and just this time. Like, don't you think you should always be doing that? And then the overall testing, the way that they do it, is like everybody's gonna show positive.
Yeah, exactly.
It's inevitable. There's no way that anybody's gonna come up negative with the way that they're doing that.
That test is poop too, man.
Trash. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just ironic and not ironic all at the same time. Like, that's what the nurse told him to do. Some breathing exercises.
Yeah, and he would do it too, cause it ain't from us. So.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, now of course he was doing it when it wasn't through the family filter that it always was through. It's so whack how that works. You could literally be like, look, this water is poisonous, and they'd be like, yeah, but. And then somebody else say it, and it's like, yo, did you know this water is poisonous? I'm like,
yeah, that's it. Like, it gotta be further away and it's trusted somehow.
Yeah, we're just too close. It's frustrating at first, but I just kind of got over it. Like, all right, I guess that's just the family filter. That's how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I be looking at it well, at least he runs and shit. People that they moving around is, the gunkier you are, the more you're going to have symptoms, and then you're just going to panic. Like, oh, my God, I just sniffled.
Right, yeah.
Then your gunkiness is just going to take over.
But both of our parents, had it and I guess beat it, technically, right? I mean, it's not really it to beat, but what'd you say?
Yeah, they're 70 years old,
man. Yeah. I
mean,
and not vegan or doing anything. Really, that's on that path.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom was like, man, it's real. I was like, man, you drank for 30 days because they told you to stay inside. That's the only real thing that's going on here.
It's about as real as it gets. And then when you don't do that for 3 weeks, of course it feels horrible.
Yeah, like your body's like, we was on a crazy equilibrium. What you doing?
Yeah. Lower back all hurt. She can't sleep. She couldn't breathe out of her nose. She couldn't smell out of her nose.
Yeah, because the detox can finally start to do its thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how Dad's status is, but he was saying he's 100. But then I called him and he was still coughing, so I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, but again, he kind of always had like a cough or a sniffle like our whole life because he always was dunking and eating.
Yeah, and then running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's the thing, you know, I feel like people as a whole are fucking sick. You know, the species is sick. We have war and we have shit like that. So it's like, how healthy are we really, yo?
It's
like,
only one disease, man. That's what's like, come on, guys. There's only one disease.
Yeah, people really don't get that shit, though.
Yeah.
People really don't. That shit is like, for some reason, that don't register.
Because I feel like people just like want to have, you know, they want it to be more complicated. Like, nah, it can't be that simple.
Yeah, like, I can't be responsible.
Right. Couldn't be my fault.
I can't have control over my health.
Like, couldn't be me. I don't understand.
I do not get it.
But I really don't. But we was talking about how we was both athletes and how different life was. You've been playing ball for mad long when I think about it. How long have you been playing ball?
I'm about to be 30, so over 20 years.
Wow, 2 decades of football of just like collision.
Oh yeah, definitely suffer some concussions. Definitely would not. If I have a child, I would not tell them to pick up a football first. I'd be like, man, I would kind of like honestly just ignore that. I'd be like, there's other, you know what I mean? And if they picked it up, I'd be like, all right, fine, you want to do this shit. But nah.
Right, like learn this lesson.
If I wasn't an athlete though, I would probably never got into breath work. Because you just get to that pinnacle of your physical body, so when it starts to dip a little bit, you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah, and
I feel like people that don't get in touch with that, being like physically at their peak of potential, they don't even know like that they've been dipping, and so by the time they hit 30, they've already been manifested like disease, and then it's like pretty much like 30 years of being 60 years old.
Yeah,
you know? That's what I feel like, and then they get to be 60, and then they pretty much just croak. But then, if you're like 30 and you've been going on a different trajectory, been in tune with your body, then you can be like 30 until you're 60. It's like kind of the two ways I feel like people can go with.
Yeah, go either way. It's a like slippery slope though, for sure. Definitely.
The slope is so slippery, yo.
Yeah. And I just think back to like, so I used to play volleyball and like thinking that I was like so aware of my body then compared to like now is really, I still have like ways, I mean, you know, still more growth to happen, I guess, but it's just crazy how like aware you might think that you are of your body and like what it's going on and what you're putting it through. Man, I wouldn't.
Until you really get in touch with your breath, like you're not really in touch with your body.
You know, it's crazy. Like I always kind of think about that. Like if I knew breath work now and was playing volleyball, I really wonder like what that would be like. Cause like how has it changed playing football? Cause you've played it before breath being a priority and after,
it definitely. I guess the thing about the breath work is it makes it more difficult to care like about the same things. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I was like, you know, starving myself of breath, it was pretty much like I was more of like a rah-rah player and shit, you know what I mean? And then like after the breath, it was like I'm more cerebral and I really, you know, I'm detached emotionally and like I'm kind of just playing chess here as opposed to like being an emotional player.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know, whenever you make mistakes in sports and in life, is when your body is not in rhythm with the breath. Like,
for sure.
If you're trying to slow down and your breath isn't slow, or if you're trying to speed up and your but your breath isn't in rhythm with the motion. It's like
because it's like you can easily be like in anxiety or you can be in an awareness. Like it's like you can either be in either one. Like with the breath, you can be like, okay, I know how to move with the breath so that I can be here to catch the ball or whatever.
Yeah, like when as soon as you start to go, it's like a physical like a moving meditation. Like you're going unconscious in a physical way. Your body, you're just trusting the superior intelligence of the body. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you get into a rhythm, you train your body a certain way, and even with sports, they teach you in through your nose, out through your mouth, and stuff.
Right.
So you kind of go unconscious and just go into those zones. But like in the beginning, when you're warming up, and your heart rate and your breath rate and your motions are not all on one accord, then you just like kind of feel, you're just fumbling around a little bit, and then once you get that, then it's everything smooth. It's just got to be all like on the same page, and that's pretty much how life is. Like whenever I'm like starting to get frustrated or messing up, I just know like, okay, I'm not breathing. I've been holding.
Yeah. You come back to that just like, okay, all right, wait a minute. We slow things down here.
Yeah, like too many tabs up. I gotta, get this breath going.
For sure. I think it's really hard to just like care about that. Like I think it would be the same for me. I feel like I just wouldn't care as much about a lot of it. Like it would be hard to really be like, we gotta win, guys. I mean, I guess I'd want to win, but like, I don't know.
I'm always just like, success is as dangerous as failure.
That's literally what came into my head when I just said that. I'm like, but do I really need success? I don't know.
Like, whether I go up the ladder or down it.
Yeah.
My position is shaky.
Yeah. Like I gotta have my feet on the ground.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's difficult to like, show that. You gotta just embody it for people because they're in panic mode, they're in animal mode, they're breathing all them breaths a minute and shallow.
Yeah. So, that's the thing with like I don't know what to think about like when that's all somebody does. Like when they just all they do all day is run or all they do all day is play football or whatever. Like that's their whole life. It's just being in that like fast breath all day. There's just like constant anxiety on the body, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like they just went into like a seizure emotionally and breathily. Like the trauma happened and it's like a seizure mode, and now it's like they're just like chopping up the breaths into small breaths so that they can like metabolize the trauma. Yeah. Like in little bits and pieces. It's like trying to play a video and it streams a little bit and you play and then it just you get like an inch forward and it's like it's stupid. You know what I mean? You need to control your breath.
Like if you just slowed it down.
Yeah. Then you watch the whole shit at once. You know what I mean? And then you move on to the next one. But if you keep pressing play or whatever, then you never process that or any of the other shit you're doing because that's still on. So everything else is kind of in pieces like that.
Yeah.
So people just be like, they really, they don't even remember. A lot of people don't even remember. Like, it's there. That's the crazy thing about trauma because it's like, it's there.
Right.
You're behaving out of a trauma like 24/7, but you somehow forgot because it's 24/7.
Yeah, it's like, constant. It's all the time, consistent trauma.
Yeah. It's like, I guess, like, it's like crowd noise, it just goes away. You play
you're just totally numb to it at that point. Yeah. Completely. Did you used to like do the breath work before get the games and stuff?
Yeah.
And after?
Definitely. Like, especially in my last season I played, like, it felt like I'd be fucking insane to go into a game without doing breath work before it, because it just controls that flow. Like, I mean, like, you're not going to just release adrenaline and have butterflies and just be making
like
crazy mistakes.
Nervous decisions, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you can settle right into the game right in a minute. It was weird at first, not having butterflies and stuff. Like, that's why, like, I know a lot of people, like, oh, my God, I'm getting control of my life. I'm calm. This is weird. Like, having
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was kind of strange at first being like, I'm not really excited by this. I want to win, because I'm out here, I might as well win if I'm out here.
You're just at such a neutral place.
Yeah, whereas like if I don't win, I honestly don't give a fuck.
You're like, it's really not going to change anything for my day.
Yeah, because at some level too, I realize like if we win, we're going to lose in another way.
Yeah, like, always. It's going to the yin to the yang. Like it's going to balance out.
Like I remember we had a big playoff win the one year, and then we just, we got a bunch of guys injured that game. I was like, see, look, see what, see, like, we won, lost. Like,
yeah, because it's like
it's always
success
that
is
way.
as dangerous as failure.
Yeah, it's always that way. It's just like, it appears like somebody lost and somebody won, but like, even if like somebody rolls you or you blow somebody out, it's like, it's a loss in some ways because like you didn't really get the experience of somebody of quality, and then like when you do play somebody of quality,
not ready.
Yeah. So you're always winning and losing at the same time. So it's like just so paradoxical that I'm at just hard to give a fuck. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna do my work and step back. It's nothing else I can really do. I can't really care about nothing else.
Get attached to either outcome, really.
Yeah, I think if you've been shallow breathing and you're like really concerned about other people doing their work, like I wonder if they're gonna do this, like, and you just never do your shit to the peak that you could.
Right. I imagine like a whole team, like any sport, like if they were all on the breath. I just really wonder how that would go, like versus other like shallow breathers and nervous breathers. I really wonder. Like if they would all just be so neutral about it, like whatever happens, and they'd probably be great.
Yeah. They would be like, they wouldn't be, and then they win a championship, and they'd be like, so how do you feel? I mean, success is as dangerous.
It would just be the Dow team.
Yeah, and like they
Team Dow.
They would probably move so concisely, like, I'm not moving unless it makes the absolute sense.
Yeah. Logical moves only.
Can I wait to the right action arrives by itself?
Completely. That's hilarious. There's a time for being still. Or was it a time for being at rest?
A time for being in danger. I mean, yeah, like, it really is like that, though, where you just, like, the Tao plays itself out in games. It's really an unseen thing that I can see at this point. It's unseen, but I can see it somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's felt, but it's also seen, but it's not visible.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a crazy thing, like where you can tell, like, all right, again, it's like winning and losing at the same time all the time. Where it's like, okay, they scored on us, they had to use all their energy to score and celebrate. So now,
right,
it's like a time that we'll capitalize on or whatever. It's like even when you like sustain a long drive and score, it's like kind of like, fuck, all my linemen are more tired now. Like, and then you just throughout the course of a game, even if it's basketball or whatever, you can see it's all in like a back and forth Taoistic thing to where like, it's just in runs and it's constant winning and losing and like, and then there's this huge, greater, grand picture of winning and losing, and this is just a microcosm.
Yeah, it's such a like surface level value. Like, yeah.
It's very apparent. The Tao is really apparent in sports, but
that's what I'm always like, just with sports and just like with muscles and like body and weight and all that. It's like, man, if it's rigid, it's gonna break. If it's strong, you know what I'm saying? Like soft and supple, the water erodes the hardest rock. Like, I'm just so torn with it sometimes. Because I know, like, for football, I know you can't just be, like, nothing. But
I mean, I guess in my position, it's easier at quarterback, But
yeah, that's true.
For other people, I don't know how that would be for them. But I guess if they're more inclined to play those other positions, it's probably easier for them in their mind.
Right.
I don't know. But, like, I feel like it's funny because whenever you warming up, I'm busting out scorpions. It's, people, they look at it one way, they might be like, that's really intimidating. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean? People be like, damn, you really out here just doing fucking scorpions and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, if a dude comes out there and does a backflip, you know what I mean, with pads on, you kind of like, all right, look out for this guy.
That dude's a monster. Yeah.
And so, it's like, flexibility really is like pivotal. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get injured without it. Like, it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. All the athletes I've worked with are always like, man, like that discovered yoga, or just like, I don't know what I was doing before yoga, or just like knowing how valuable that is about everything. Like, it kind of all stems from that, really, like muscle gain and agility and all of that. And if you don't really have the flexibility, it's kind of like, it's just not a good foundation.
it's wild. Like, it sucks that a lot of them, it takes injury for them to realize, to gain communication with an area.
Right.
Because, like, I guess it just forces them to slow down. Yeah. But, like, it's just crazy because they don't know what they're missing because there's no communication. The communication is just not there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not. So it's like they're not fully inhabiting the body because they're not really breathing. Right. So, like, they just pushing the body in, like, gross ways. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to where it's just like, yeah, I can't, you know what I mean? I'm going to break. It's not designed to be, you know what I mean? You got to be a rhythm here of breath and movement. And, like, people that aren't creating a rhythm, you know what I mean? And getting in touch with their natural rhythm of breath, then it's like you're going to get injuries, yo.
It's like inevitable.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, in a sense, that's kind of what happened to you, right? I mean, you hurt your ankle.
What?
I said, you hurt your ankle. That's kind of what happened to you, right?
Yeah, I broke my leg. Again, I mean, if I was breathing, I probably would have been like, I know my value. Man, I'm not even going to practice.
Right, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't even have got that far.
Yeah. I don't think it would have either.
Yeah. The breath really changed my identity to where, yeah, it's like, you can't be serious. You want me to do this. But, you know, at the time, I was 16. I was retarded.
Yeah, but...
Not breathing.
But, I mean, it beats... I don't know if it beats, but at least you're not having to learn it now. Like, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm glad that I got in touch with my body and recovered and, like, suffered those injuries and went through those humbling experiences so that I realize now, like, oh, this is... You know, you can feel it, like, this is going towards a broken bone or something. Something bad's going to happen, you know what I mean?
Right.
I guess other people don't really push, so.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. I be wanting to, like, play volleyball sometimes, and it's just, I just don't really care, and I just be like, especially if I don't know, like, I just be feeling like I got to catch up on the breath before I just start moving like that. I'm like, am I really going to move with awareness if I get into a volleyball game right now? Like, I don't know. Feels like an injury could happen. Let me go breathe. And then I just never really have the desire.
Yeah, I don't, that's the issue, is that the natural desire changed where it's like, I think I'd rather read the I Ching or something, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it is. So in some ways, you know.
I think people be so scared of that. Like, just from the one-on-ones I do with people that are just, like, scared to not care about stuff. They're like, how do I just not care about money? And, like, how do I just, like, live? And it's a crazy thing to try to, like, help somebody, like, navigate that. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like, meanwhile, they're paying you to navigate that. So,
yeah.
Like, obviously, money takes care of itself if I take care of myself.
It's the happiness of pursuit, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. It's not that you don't care. It's the care shifts, and it's like the energy is no longer in that place to where that gas tank is empty, but you know, you don't have to be gas tank's full for something else. So
yeah,
you know what I mean, and you can feel the same feelings that you were looking to feel off of whatever it is, roundabout way. Like, yeah, you want to go play a sport or want to do these things and get recognition and get acknowledgement so that you can feel good about yourself, or you can just feel good about yourself. Like,
right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just so much more. Yeah.
And then so from that point of, like, not needing external validation, like, you attract external validation. So it's like they don't understand, they haven't seen that, you know, in a limit in their life.
That doesn't, that's not even, like, an idea.
It takes full commitment, man. Like,
yeah.
You know, like they say, you know, what you do behind closed doors and when no one's looking, that's what really amounts to anything. It's kind of that way. Like, you can't be, like, partially, like, behind closed doors grinding and then, like, kind of peeking over your shoulder, like, but are they looking right now? Like, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. You got to be fully dedicated. I think that's also the hard part for people, though, is the discipline. They're like, I just don't have, like, the discipline to do that every day. To wake up and just breathe for like 30 minutes or an hour or whatever. I always hear that. Yeah. And I mean, when I first started, I guess it was just like, okay, it's like working out. It's kind of like, man, I don't really want to do this, but I know the benefits and I got to do this. Or at least what I thought working out was back then. But, but then, like, probably like, 2 weeks into it, it was like a day without it was like, Wait, something's not the same here. like,
Yeah.
the day's moving differently. Like, my energy's my thoughts are not really me right now.
It was really wild when I seen, like, watching somebody else go through it. Because, you know, you go through it and you be like, man, is it just me going through it like this?
Yeah.
But, like, when I had taught Audrey the breath and got her on the, you know what I mean, consistent, like, dedication of 30, 45 minutes, hour, before anything, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that, you know, I watched her, like, really go from, like, it just destroys that ego to where you don't even know it's destroyed.
Yeah.
And you be like, trying to, like, go back to that call to that identity, and it's just not there. And you just like, yo, I could see it. Like, mad, like, in the beginning, like, we had a routine of going to Whole Foods and getting smoothies. And then, like, when I got her onto the breath, like, consistently, I could see, like, she's like, I'm just doing this because of routine. Like, I have no desire to put anything in my body right now.
Yeah, it's totally routine. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
it's
like,
such a wild place to be.
Yeah, she didn't even know how to deal with it. Like, she was, like, literally, like, you know what I mean? Like, not to shit on her, because I've had, like, moments, I guess, where it's, like, conflicts of identity and consciousness or whatever. Like, when she was, like, really about to cry, she was like, yo, I don't know how to live without that desire there. Like, I mean, like, it's, the desire has changed, and you kind of don't know. It's like, you have to find where the desire is at that point. It's not that it's gone. It's just changed.
It's just shifted, yeah. Nah, it is a weird place to be when you just are like, this is all entertainment? Really? Like, nothing in me really wants this? Like, you'd be mid-smoothie and, like, I really could have not did this. And I'd still be... That's such a weird...
Yeah.
Like ego death and detachment. Nah, definitely. I think the first, like, month or two of it, I was just, like... Just going through the motions of that. Like, wait, I don't want... Like, wait. And it's funny to think about even now, because, like, I've always felt like I never really knew what it meant to be hungry. Like, always, though. Always when people would be like, man, I'm hungry. I'm like, I guess I am. Like, I guess I am. I don't really know what that means. Like, I never really knew what that felt like. What does that feel like? Like, that sounds crazy, but I really don't know. Like, hunger pains, I never experienced. I don't know what that means. I never really.
I've been completely exhausted. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Like, I've been completely exhausted.
But that never made me want to eat. I feel like I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, see, you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's kind of like, it's like an option.
Yeah, sleep was always my, like, crutch, I guess.
Yeah, like, you could sleep, do breath work, or you could eat. And then, and then eating is, the more you do breath work, the more you're like, I gotta breathe this off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, a bunch of cycles of, like, yo, I gotta breathe this off, and then fucking spit this mucus out, deal with this, take the tea, do this, and do this. You're like, man, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going through. I'm only doing things that create less of that.
Definitely. Like, that wasn't really worth it for that temporary, not even really satisfaction.
Yeah, like, it just, you know what I mean? It don't even feel the same in your mouth. You're just like, how did I ever do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unconsciously is the only way I could have ever done this.
Oh, for sure. And that's the one thing, like, when I do ever chew food and then, like, slow down and eat it, it's like, this isn't even, like, what is this even? What is the substance? What is this? Why am I putting this thing here? Like, it's like you always say, like, moving something from this space into this space. Like, it just really feels like that. Like, I'm not absorbing anything, really. I mean, I am, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, it's just completely, like, for shits and giggles. It's like, man, I just don't want to be in this moment, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's kind of just a funny thing. You're just so used to it, and then, like, you just get further and further from shore to where you're like, you know what, I can't, like, let me do something human.
Yeah, that's really what it feels like. Like, let me kind of be, I guess, whatever normal is.
Yeah, like, that was the thing. Like, I think that's kind of why I like getting the smoothies at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
It felt normal just to order food.
Going to Whole Foods just to feel something. I always say that. Like, I just swear I just go in there just to feel something. Like, okay, I'm in society and I'm doing what people do. And they go in Whole Foods.
Yeah, like, I'm telling this dude, make me a mango tango.
Yeah.
And he thinks I'm regular dude.
Yeah. I always think about that, yo. Man, I always think about that when I get smoothies. Like, they really think that this is, like, just a midday snack or something. Like, this is it for me for the day.
It's just like smoothies.
It's crazy. I feel like that is a real thing, like, doing it just to feel something. Just to be, like, kind of included in the world.
Oh yeah.
But then like when you get back to yourself, you're like, okay, but life was way better empty, like, than full. Things felt way better.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's just more space for things.
Right.
Like, you just have way more space, and like, I don't know, but I guess at the same time, it's funny how it's like it's more space for things, but then it's like it needs to be specific. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, you can't just have anybody. I guess you never could really just have anybody around you, but
I mean, the environment I think really matters though, for sure. Like the company you keep and the environment you're in when you're like empty. I feel like that says a lot. Like whatever you're attracting when you're empty says a lot.
Definitely. And people definitely, like, I just feel their hunger so much. That's the tough part.
Man, I hate that.
You're dealing with their hunger, like, a lot. And so it's like, you really got to discern the difference. Like, man, like.
Yeah, like, that's not even me. This isn't even me, bro.
Yeah, because, like.
It's totally them.
There are, like, a lot of paradigm traps with conversations where people, like, you can tell it's, like, a conflict of their own identity / they be testing you /
Slash is like a buffer, really, because you don't really get along with the person. So it's like, you know, I feel like there'd be one to fill that void or fill that space between you two with some food. Like, you might not, like, deeply really connect as much as you think you are, because, like, there's always food. There's always a buffer in between you two.
Yeah, like, that noise is there, kind of like, filling in all them gaps.
Yeah. I be feeling people's hunger all the time. And I don't really know how to navigate it, because I be like, I guess I kind of, should I act like should I move with this? Like, nothing in me is hungry. Nothing in me has any need right now.
Yeah, and then, like, people's hungers be, like, on a whole nother level, like, the emotional hungers and shit. You be like, man, I really am not, like, I'm past a lot of this shit that you, like, still hung up on.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
then I always have a moment of, like, why the hell am I around this person, though? Like, how did I get around this? How are we sharing space right now?
Yeah. I guess it's just the challenge of it, though. Like,
yeah, like tests.
For you to not see separation.
Yeah. Definitely always feels like a test. But I feel like that was, like, the biggest thing when I first was doing breathwork and, like, changing the lifestyle, I guess, was just, like, eating out of just social pressure. Like, that used to just get me all the time. I would have no desire to eat or do anything, and it would just be like, I mean, I guess we'll go eat some raw vegan food. I really don't even really, okay, sure. Like, or it'd be like being the guide for somebody else that's never had it, and I'd be like, man, I want to expose you to this, but I gotta suffer to do this? Like, why do I gotta eat it? It would just always be like it'd be a horrible test. I fell into that a few times. Now I'd just be like, look, this is what you need to do on your own. Figure it out. Because I'm not doing that with you.
Yeah, like, it really is like, you kind of don't want to interfere at the same time, because then it slows them down in some regards. Like, even if you do spoon feed it to them and, like, they get it, I feel like it has crazy ramifications if you, like, really push somebody through it. You know what I mean? Like, in some ways, I feel like for the people that I've really heavily influenced closely with this shit, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like a burden for you in some ways, and you wasn't even ready. That kind of forced my process on you a little bit, like,
yeah,
right? Because I really enjoy this shit. I really enjoy this shit. It's something that every day it's like, this is the logical next step to do this, like, to breathe, or, you know what I mean? And I feel like with other people that, like, they just wanted to be around you or get the benefits of your life or be you.
Yeah, they didn't sign up for, like, this extreme change in their life, which isn't really extreme, but,
Yeah, so it's definitely more extreme to not fucking breathe.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Nah, I definitely get that. The pup is over there.
Yeah, man, they over here trying to wrestle right next to me.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you see with dogs too, man. I mean, the dogs pretty much, they be running around, and then they be like, all right, gotta catch up on my breath. And then they go dream, and then they bounce right the fuck back, you know what I mean? It's like, they get it.
And do downward dogs and stuff, definitely.
Yeah, they definitely get it.
For sure. I mean, animals in general really, like, Mad animals barely eat or hibernate or do whatever they do. Like, they don't really be consuming as much as we consume. These people.
And they're definitely in touch with their breath.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Like, total body awareness, total everything awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me wonder, just like, with more and more people doing it, like, I just wonder where we're headed, I guess, with everything going on, and then, you know, Bill Gates' Instagram looking the way it's looking.
Right?
I'm like, where we headed, guys?
Yeah, like, it definitely feels like, you know, it's reaching kind of critical mass as far as, like, the people that can do anything,
mm-hmm.
the people that can change, the people that can absorb the information. It's reaching a majority. I feel like.
Yeah.
Unawareness of the breath.
Because, I mean, I haven't talked to, at least in my little reality over here, and really not many people I've talked to that are like Team Bill, or, you know what I'm saying, or like Team Vaccines, or anything. Like, almost everybody I know is like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, and you got to think of it kind of too, like, the breath is really kind of fueling that, I feel like. Because, like,
definitely.
I feel like we charge it when we do the sessions, and then, like, it has to filter out through humanity, and people is receiving the breath, like, already more charged, you know what I mean? And all the people that you got doing it.
Changing the whole, like, pressure of the...
Yeah.
For sure. That is true.
The atmosphere.
Yeah, I feel like, I'm trying to think of just, like, my whole, like, surroundings, obviously, I mean, I feel like that happens for most people, but when you start doing breath work every day, just completely changed as far as people I was kicking it with, and then, like, yeah, there's really nobody around me that's, like, not talking about breath or is aware of the breath. Like, it's kind of cool when I think about it. Because a year ago, nobody around me, including myself, was talking about the breath like this. So it is true, like, how the ripple effect works.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like, you know, I sell books every day. And I remember when it was a point where, like, I would go a long period without selling books.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, it's every day, you know what I mean? Now I can, like, really, like, live off it. And I just be like, man, I always said, when this happens, if this information becomes more normalized, the world is going to end. I always used to be, like, I guess, kind of facetious about it. Like, man, the world's definitely going to it's going to collapse, yo, if people become aware of these things. And, like, I felt like just fucking with the, you know, just having my, you know, my finger on the temperature of the black market and the weed game.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of, I felt like, man, as this well begins to dry up, become more legal, and people see the benefit of herbs, I was like, there's no way that they won't see the benefit of other herbs if this is being suggested, you know?
Yeah.
So I figured, like, you know what I mean, I kind of timed down my life with this, like, where I was like, okay, I can see where this is going, and then once, if I, like, position myself in a way to where, you know, as people meet these different points that I've met, that I could I reach back in some ways or whatever, and continue to sustain myself off of this, and I felt like, yeah, you know, it's sure enough, as soon as this shit really started to pick up steam, I feel like, yeah, the world is pretty much ending.
It's pretty much on its way to that. It's
this beginning thing going on right now.
Yeah, definitely. Man. And it's true, though, also, like, we always talk about, like, anytime we, like, spend money or spend energy on things that go to the breath, or, like, herbs or, like, something, always get it right back.
Yeah.
Like, always. Yeah, like, if I spend money on, like, something that's just stupid, I feel like something that's just a ripple. Like, something else stupid usually happens. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you buy a bunch of herbs or some shit, then it's like, people just want to book you for sessions and stuff, and you're just like, wow.
The other day I had, like, 5 sessions on some God's work stuff. And it was crazy. It was like, but the day before, I think, was when I bought, like, all them herbs and was just getting rid of stuff. I think I got rid of a bunch of clothes. It was just, like, making room, moving the energy around. In, like, a proper alignment way, though.
Like, it really is a feng shui thing, you know, emotionally, physically. Like, and again, you can kind of see it again, like with the herbs and with the food or whatever. Like, you buy this many fruits or this much material for juicing, and then you get to this stage of the juicing and the processing of it or whatever. Or like, it's kind of like different. The levels are funny. Like, okay, so you completely consume all the fruits or the juice or whatever, or you get the closer you get to it, then you start to the energy starts to come back in money. Yeah. You know, because you stay disciplined, and like, and if you take it to another level and you just be like, I'm fasting more days than I'm not, and I'm giving these juices away, I feel like you reach another level of money or another level of security, you know, materially, and it's just funny, like, how, you know, how that goes, and like how people just gotta have faith and let the whole process play out, because it's just an energy thing, you know, more than like a visible, like tangible, like thing where you're like, okay, I go to work 40 hours a day and get this much energy, get this much money.
That's what's always like sometimes just shitty about it, is like people can't, since it's not tangible or they can't like see it, they don't really believe it. But it's like, it's always like with anybody that I've worked with or myself even, is like a month of doing it, you look back in that month, like a lot has changed in just that month. Like, it's one of them things you gradually just have to like look back and reflect on and be like, whoa, okay, I don't think I would be doing that regularly. Like, things just naturally start to fall away and change. Like, I remember I just stopped wearing makeup and I didn't like plan to do that, but it was just like I just had no desire to do that anymore.
Yeah, I guess just because the you know, it's just your skin, your face want to breathe.
Yeah. And just like the ego wasn't there. Like, who do I got to be validated by? Like, why do I don't really need it. Yeah, for me, it was just like, I don't care.
And then you're like, man, do I really want to attract this kind of person that is attracted by this, something like this?
Yeah, truly. Yeah. That's really where it's at. So, it's like, I'm doing all this kind of weird shit, so whoever I attract doing this, like, this is what you signing up for.
Yeah, like, that's kind of where I had to just let shit go, I guess, because it was like, man, like, there's no way that I'm not going to hate myself if I'm around somebody that is swayed by these things. I'm just going to hate myself anyway. So,
yeah.
What is the point?
Yeah, no. For sure.
Yeah, like, you know, you just get to a point where you're like, man, I'm done trying to save people and show people this shit either. And I'm done trying to, like, say, like, you know, you're physically what I want to see or be around. Maybe I could, like, mentally change you.
Yeah, but it's like the longest oil change of your life to do that also. You know what I'm saying? To change somebody's brain, it's just like, we gotta take apart this whole car to do this. Do I really feel like doing that?
That's just the way this is set up.
Yeah, like, oh man, it's like a German car or something. Like, it's all hard to get to.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's the issue, man. Like, and then it's like, you know, you're attracted to somebody genuinely. As soon as you start to change them, you lose respect for them, and you're not even attracted to them the same. So it's kind of like, you just gotta accept people where they at and just be like, man, fuck it, you know. Yeah. Maybe they'll develop into like a super them instead of being changed.
Yeah, and then that's when I think it's just cool when you just like know yourself, I guess, because it's just like, well, you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna go do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not really teaching you or leading you, but I'm gonna go do this. And then, yeah, they do whatever they want. They can join in, or they can not. Like you said, just become a super them.
Yeah, I guess it's easier for people to guilt themselves into being better when they have like that personal friction or competition there with like somebody in front of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult. Prana. No. It's difficult when
my name's Prana.
Yeah. Prana.
Like, to say Prana that aggressive is hilarious.
But then it's difficult, man, like, to, you know, yeah, like, I guess, you know, I kind of lost my train of thought there, but it's difficult, you know, going through that process.
Yeah, I was saying, like, you just, like, Like if you're waking up and doing breath work in front of somebody that's probably not doing breath work when they first wake up and shit like that. Like, well, I'm gonna just always still do this no matter what you're doing. I'm not about to lead you or teach you, but I'm gonna just do it.
Yeah, like I'm not in competition with you. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like I really don't give a fuck whether you're here or not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
In some ways, it's not that you know, I'm bothered. I want you to leave or go. It's like if you leave or go, it's not going to change my insides.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like I welcome you if you come, but you know, if you leave, it's like, hey man, safe travels. You know, it's like
right. This was cool.
And I think that's probably like the issue. People want it to be like moist and heavy, and want you to be like, you should be sad when I leave or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I started to. It's tough, like when you be detached, but that's the only way you can stay present. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
man.
You know, because people be like, they like you, they like that you're present, they like the energy, the essence. And it's like, yo, this is here because I'm detached. If I was attached,
yeah, I always come back to them like, yeah, you only like me because I'm so detached. Like that's what's attracted you here, and then that becomes a problem. At the same time, it's a crazy parallel.
Yeah, like I don't get how people don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't want what you have. So as soon as somebody changes you or makes you jump through a hoop, then they already, you know, start to lose their respect. And it's like, you know, it's kind of a wild thing because, like, it's really like to really, I guess, to exemplify the self mastery and stuff. I guess you really should just be like quiet, go and do your breath work or whatever, and then just like continue to make space. Like they expect you to get up at 7 a.m. and do breath work. Now you're doing it at 3 a.m.
Yeah, right.
You completely just continue to make space to where it's like, you know, there's just an abundance of space there, and like I feel like that's the only way like life can have fluidity. And it's like if we really synchronize too much, then it's gonna be like an againstness here, like because we can't both occupy the same space. Like as far as like you're not gonna occupy my fucking body.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't, you know, we can complement the same space, but we can't occupy. Like we can't both be in the driver's seat. So it's like you know, you really got to teach people how to. I guess respect their truest values by just constantly honoring yours and being like totally ready to lose them at any moment. And that's like the only way that people will really learn and take anything from it. Because if they don't, then if you don't, then they're just gonna continue to think that being halfway committed gets them what they want because they're like they think they want you, and it's like no, it's not really what your heart really wants. Man.
Yeah. Like let's be real here.
You know, like it's like you know, it's gonna sound cheesy, but it's like you know, you want spirituality or embodiment of God. It's what you really want. So everything else is kind of like it can complement that, but you know, that's what you really, really want. And if you really feel like you want me, then I don't want you.
Truly. It's the John that has been stolen all over Instagram, but like commit to evolving. Like don't commit to me.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all the people that stole that from me.
Yeah, I see it probably like once a week now.
They don't even realize like it's just me punching them in the face. You know what I mean?
Like wait a minute, because you did that like last summer, I think, or whenever that was. It was a long time ago. I don't know.
I think maybe 2017, 2017 or 2018.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, I think it was like August 2018.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it's like August 2018. I remember, that I posted it. And I seen a bunch of people post that shit. And I'm not gonna say y'all names because y'all ain't gonna say my name. You know what I mean? Like y'all not getting no free promotion from me. Scabs.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like it's like why? I quoted Vincent Van Gogh the other day. And I put Vincent Van Gogh underneath the quote.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's dead. He can't even get nothing from me. Like, I'm still going to say
but, like, show that respect. Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah. Like, so you could go to the source and maybe get some other quotes from this person.
Right.
Now you're just trying to block up the flow, you scab.
That's how that goes. That's how that works. The gram is weird with it, like with the thievery.
Yeah, it's crazy because then you deal with people that like, yo, they just genuinely don't know that they took this.
I know, right? You'd be like, well, they're just innocent and they just related or whatever. But a lot of people like be knowing or get inspired by, whatever you're doing and then start to do it.
Yeah, and it's just wild because I knew when this shit hit, I was like, this one right here is gonna be the one. I was like, I'm about to, I'm sending this to all the people that I know that have high visibility online.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, you need to repost this. There's no question. Post this. Like,
yeah. No, I remember when it was on Twitter, it got like 2,000 something.
Yeah, Yeah. And people like they kind of like let that die down so we can take it and not give them credit.
Pretty much.
Like, that's the crazy thing.
I literally saw that thing like yesterday.
And I don't even want credit for you to like, yo, pay me for this quote. I want you to just dig deeper into the work so you can see the other things I'm pointing at, because that's not the best thing I could say.
Yeah, like, yeah, so they can see the whole source.
Yeah, and then to really get these other insights and tips on breath work, it's like it's not even really about nothing. You know what I mean? Cause
yeah, it's not about you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is in the fact that it benefits me if they breathe. Like.
Well, yeah, in that sense, yeah.
Yeah, like.
But not about you being like getting attention necessarily.
Yeah, like it's kind of like when I was like first going vegan and like certain things were just not on the shelf, and I was like, man, like I need motherfuckers to be eating like this so it's more available for me too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like it's nice to see more people breathing and taking breath serious,
Yeah,
it's only gonna make things like that happen.
I don't know what's been going on lately, but the thing most people have been doing right now is buying DE, some diatomaceous earth. That's like really going up right now. I feel like we should be like, I should have a deal with them or something. The amount of people like a week tag me in their diatomaceous earth pictures. I think somebody just did, like right before we hopped on this podcast. Diatomaceous earth is going.
Yeah, and then it's funny because it says food grade on there,
mm-hmm.
but like if you look into any of those things, like Google them,
mm-hmm.
like the parasite of Google is going to tell you not to put these things in your body.
I know.
Like bentonite clay.
Yeah, it's just a topical thing. Earth. Yeah.
What is that turpentine?
Mm-hmm.
Like they be like, no, don't do this shit. It's basically like the parasite's basically like, please don't get rid of me.
Right.
And
like, don't move me out of my home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand Google and YouTube, man. Like I could search some shit that is specific with the title, and they still give me
Literally, I have searched the John about parasites so many times, and I have to always go to your page to get the how parasites get inside of you. Like I will type that in with your name and everything, and it doesn't come up. Like, y'all just gonna filter this out? Like what?
It's too crazy, right? Like how did it get to this point? Like
I don't know.
To where people really don't want this information, or they don't want people to get this information. I mean,
yeah.
How did it get here? Like, really though, like this is really bad. Like, where you search some shit on Google and they give you what they want to give you instead of what you're searching for.
Like, and you're just supposed to like settle? Like, I don't understand. Like, well, this wasn't what I was looking for, but okay, you know better than me, Google.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much how they do you. Like, they be like, look, this is what you searched for, right? And you be like, not at all, but okay.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, but this is what we want you to look at. It's crazy.
It's just a joke, man.
It's really crazy. 2020 Tantra. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
No, we almost at an hour, though. Anything else you want to touch on?
Oh, it was an action-packed hour.
I mean, we had like 53 minutes. It was an action-packed hour, though. From A to Z.
Yeah.
I feel like we're probably going to make more of these, huh?
Yeah. I was going to say, like, yo, the breathwork does change your taste in music, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, man, that has been a huge thing lately for me. Like, words really get on my nerves after a while. And, like, obviously the hurts of it, too. But instrumentals are, like, all I ever want to listen to now. It's crazy.
Shit be so noisy, yo.
Yeah. Like, I literally have playlists of just instrumental music. Because I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I don't really want any of these to cloud my thoughts or to sing along to these things or to say these things out loud. Like,
yeah.
No.
And the more you reduce the internal noise and you fasting and breathing, then it's like, like, talking about just water or, maybe just coconut water, like just herbs or something like that. Like, you going through that process, like, your body just be like, nah, I'm so quiet in here. I need it to match. It needs to be like Tao Chang audiobook or like.
The Tao's like the only thing that ever really feels good when you're at that place.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you need to hear like jungle sounds or something.
Yeah, or like flutes or something. The few times I've done just coconut water, I think the only thing I listened to was the Tao. Because anything else just kind of like hurt.
Shout out to Stephen Mitchell, man.
Just greatest voice probably on earth.
Yeah. Life changing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that, sometimes when I search, is hard to find.
Yeah, at one point I could not find it.
Didn't they take it down at one point?
Yeah, I feel like they did. It was like we had like 2-point-something million views, and then like
it took it down.
I didn't find it again until I saw it again, and it had like 750K. And then I grabbed it and just re-uploaded it on mine because I'm like, this is ridiculous, y'all. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, this is the most peaceful thing.
I was gonna say there's nothing controversial or like harsh about that text. Like what? It's so perfect.
Yeah, it's so like non-confrontational and like you know what I mean. Like it's when you don't compare or compete. You know what I mean? Everybody will respect you.
Yeah.
And YouTube be like, we disrespect ourselves, so we have to disrespect.
There's no other option. I always laugh at the part where it's like, you want to save the world? I don't think it can be done. I just feel like that is so, like his voice for one is hilarious, but like I don't think it could be done. It's such a negative thing that you would think, like hearing it somewhere else, you'd be like, damn man, that sucks. No, it can't be done. But when you hear it in the Tao, it's like, yeah, man, that can't be done. It like hits so different. Like I'm not even worried about that though. I don't even really care about that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, you play it for the person that like complex minds. Drastic measures are needed. Mm-hmm. It's like it really is kind of funny because they get angry about it. They're like,
yeah.
I've talked to people about this shit and like I posted shit where it's like the master. Basically removes desire and fills your core, right? So, like, people be like, why do I want desire removed? I'm like, because desire and peace don't coexist, motherfucker. What do you think?
Yeah.
Like, they don't, you can't be peacefully in desire.
It's like, not possible.
Yeah,
it's not possible. Yeah.
You have to be in pieces to desire. You have to say something is not me, and I need to go acquire it because it's missing inside of me. So you're already not at peace and in pieces. And motherfucker, it's so basic that it's so overlooked, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people get mad about the Tao. Usually that part, though, the part about like not saving the world, a few other parts, have people just like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, non-action makes action. Like, what am I supposed to do all day? Like, people really just get frustrated with it. I'm like, this is the best book in the world. How is this making you angry right now?
Yeah, basically, you don't do any more than you're supposed to. And
yeah, step back. Do your work and step back. Yeah. It's that want to want, though.
He's giving up helping, so he's people's greatest help. You know what I mean? True words seem paradoxical.
Yeah.
It's like people don't get, you know what I mean? They're just not, people, I guess, are just not layered in their experiences, I guess, to where something kaleidoscopic and layered like the Tao Te Ching just doesn't hit. Like,
but don't get me wrong, I had to, like, I think every time I hear it, I hear something new. It's definitely like a build, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like the first time you hear it, you're probably not even going to get 75% of what he's saying. Like,
yeah, especially if it's a different translation.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think by like the 10th time, I was like, okay, I'm 50% kind of really into this now. Like, cause you get it maybe the first round, but like, it's still certain things hit differently.
The first time I did a breath session, I've had good breath sessions. Like since I started 2012, I've had like decent breath sessions in that time, like where they were like, yo, I could kind of feel the cumulative effect more than like, yo, that was a great breath session.
Yeah.
It was more so like, okay, that was a week of doing them. Now I took a day off. I feel like not as good. And so like, I feel like when I first did it to the Tao Te Ching and did the session for the whole Tao Te Ching and just did simple breathing, just simple tumo, like I did it on a beanbag because, you know what I mean? I just was like, man, I'm just going to do this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just for an hour and 50 minutes or whatever that is. I'm just going to do this. And like, that was really like, it's kind of just like with any drug. I feel like I'm chasing that high almost. Like that was the greatest breath session ever, yo.
Yeah.
Like I've had other ones that are really awesome, you know what I mean, and have really really great moments, and then like I get a lot of insights and clarity after them. But that breath session was like the first high. Like that was one of the ones where I was like, there's no one that could tell me I should stop doing this. Like
yeah.
And like I felt like I sunk so deep into my body and like I healed so much in just an hour and 50 minutes. That like I never changed. I never returned. It never could return after that. It was no going back after that. Like it was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then just an hour and 40 minutes, you did all that.
Yeah, the Tao really came and was like, it really is like a living, breathing spirit that came and was like, let me just fill you up real quick. Let me show you how full you can be and what you don't need.
Mm-hmm.
And like. It was just so fulfilling of an hour and 50 minutes, and I didn't spend no money. I didn't go nowhere.
Yeah, just really went internal and like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it just let me know like, wow, this is always available, really. I mean, really.
Yeah, free, accessible all the time.
Yeah. Like, when can I not at least catch a breath? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The breath is like always there. Like the Tao is always there.
Yeah, always. And you can always check into it, always choose it. It's like all the tools are there, it's just choosing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I guess that's the thing with music is like, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of got to starve yourself of it, fast of it. And then like, when you put it on, it's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. And I'm such a music, like I listen to music all day long. But like I was saying, like, just for one, the hertz alone, you gotta start to like filter them, or you just start to crave just different frequencies, because
you're training your water.
Yeah, it just is like you said, just noise. It just hurts. Like you really start to be like, okay, but like if this was off right now, I'd probably feel better. Like you start to think that, and then you do it. You're like, wow, the silence feels way better than that.
Yeah. Like the emptiness is so great. You know what I mean? Like. Mm-hmm. So great not being in K, you know.
That just reminded me that so during my breath sessions I do here at the studio, at the yoga studio, I always end with like 2 minutes of just straight silence, because we have, all the like EDM techno music on the whole time, breathing. Everybody feels like they just worked out, and it's crazy how hard it is for people. I mean, I guess myself, we used to be that way too, but like I just put the timer on for 2 minutes and just straight silence, and people like fidget and move and like giggle, or like just like really are uncomfortable with silence and emptiness. It's really interesting. Yeah, it's really interesting to see. I'm like, I wonder as these weeks go, if they keep breathing and coming to class and stuff, like how that'll go. But yesterday, Joe, it was like, it felt like the longest 2 minutes to like watch people like try to be silent. It was really a struggle. Like I could feel how hard it was for them.
It's like, people is locked in like a childhood trauma.
Yeah.
That's some childish shit.
Yeah.
Like, sit there and, eat your food and shut up, you know what I mean?
Right.
They just can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, fidgeting, itching, all kind of stuff. I was like, yo, you got 24 hours, 2 minutes? No, you can't. Just total stillness and silence. Because I think most people always just put on some like little meditation music or something, but I feel like it's just, you can hear so much more in the silence. Like nobody really emphasizes that enough. Like meditation music is cool. All that's cool, but like silence is really where the messages come, for real.
Yeah, it's like kind of the distraction of the trauma.
Mm-hmm.
The trauma's taking you out of the moment, then you're like, let me distract this distraction with it.
Yeah. with some harps and stuff, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, tea house music and all that, it's cool, but when you get to the when you're really slowing the breath down, getting into parasympathetic nervous system, and like you start to hear that inaudible silence, like you're hearing the fucking silence, like you're hearing all the space.
Yeah, and especially if you like do it in nature, it's so filling. Like with the just nature, even that sound is like enough. You're like, wow, this is a lot. There's so many sounds going on right now. You know what I'm saying?
It's so much, man.
Yeah.
Being out here, I don't know, they probably hear all the birds and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. When I had my retreat, we did a breath session in the woods and stuff, and it was just so loud to me. I know it's probably a little more difficult for others that don't really breathe like that, but it was like, I could have just stayed there all day, it felt like. It was like a creek nearby, but it wasn't like I could hear that. The birds, the wind, the grass, I felt like I could hear. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy when you just shut up.
Yeah, like I was saying in one of my posts recently, I was like, man, letters are just sounds with titles, and sounds are just like shades of silence. Like the places with deep like harmony or deep, pretty much like a deep silence is deafening, man. You go into a jungle somewhere, all them birds and shit. It's because like everything knows itself and is in touch with that silence that is like so inspired to like, because it's vibrating so much that it's not getting in the way of the silence. So like the silence is expressing itself as, you know, crickets and birds and all the things moving and crawling, and it's just like everything expressed, the stream, everything expressing itself is really just like silence in motion or stillness in motion. You know what I mean? Like, kind of what the world is, and like that's the transient side of stillness, I guess. Whereas like the actual stillness is like the constant, and like the only way to perceive changes is like having a constant. And if you never get back to that point of reference, that constant, that part of you that's like always calm, there's this part of you, of your being, that's like always calm, and you know what I mean, like it's made in the likeness of a piece that nothing can disturb, like that, you know, like the light, you know, again, that's why I feel like the Tao Te Ching and the 11 Laws of God by Raul Nefer, it's really just pointing to the likeness of that part of the being. You know what I mean? There's this part.
It always exists.
Yeah, like it's like, hey, no matter how panicked this shit looks, there's this part of you that's like completely at peace and like.
Yeah, it's like balancing this whole thing out. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so it's like now that you've gotten in touch with it, it's like no scenario that can happen. It's almost like a cool challenge. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's so true.
Go back to this place.
Because I really can't even think of, like, in the past year, like, things have definitely probably upset me or got me excited or whatever, but I still feel like nothing has been as, like, traumatic as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It used to be like, oh, this whole day sucks. Like, whatever. Like, it just never, it's like, okay, let me just come back to the breath, come back to this peaceful place. Like, it's always there. Like, even no matter what's going on externally, like, this always exists. So, like, it's kind of fine.
Yeah.
It's like just like a fun, like you said, like a challenge, or like what is this day about to bring? Like it's almost like a little fun game.
Yeah, like the thing that I guess you know, it's like your compass too. You know when you're not breathing.
Oh yeah.
That you're not either with the wrong people or you're not doing the things that you need to be doing or undoing. It's like if you can't find that inspiration to breathe, it's pretty much your compass. You don't have to really think or feel anything. You're like, man, I'm just not breathing well. This doesn't. Whatever I'm doing, I gotta get back to that constant mode, and then reset from there, and then I'll take a step. Because if I take steps from this chaos mode, I don't even know which direction I'm going in.
Yeah.
Like
you're just going. You're just literally just doodle bob going.
Yeah.
Yeah. The world is pretty much doodle bob right now.
Yeah, but we're affected by doodle bobs. And I noticed that too, like whenever I would be, you know, it kind of makes you non-confrontational being with the breath in a lot of ways. It's not that you won't act, it's just like,
you just don't.
I'm gonna make this shit apparent so that you just do this shit yourself, yo.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think like again, you just kind of like lead by example, and I guess in a way, for lack of better words, it's just like your energy's just not there to do that, to pour your cup out like that in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like to confront somebody or to get that ride. I don't know. I just nothing. Again, I guess going back to desire is just not there. Like I'd rather go breathe, or I'd rather go like take a walk. I don't know. Just move the energy a different way than like in that way.
Yeah, I feel like when I act from it's like, you know, when I'm being in that mode and people I guess kind of force my hand to act.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of funny, like how this shit goes, like, because people really can't. Once you're like spiritually solid like that, they really can't touch you, and they kind of don't know if they're not spiritually aware. You know, you're not aware of the breath. Mm-hmm. Then it's like they don't really realize, like, why can't I act on this? Why can't I push them any further? And it's like, because you don't see this unseen battle happening right here. Like you don't really get it, and like
you expose them a lot by being that way.
Yeah. Like, as soon as you're the Tao of the situation, then it's like, it's this responsibility of like, okay, let me show you.
Yeah, the way of the way.
I mean, that you're not this. And as soon as you become this, we'll get over it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, during my process, I saw that if I was around somebody that wasn't in alignment with the breath, even if they were breathers, it's just, it's really, your path is tailored to you. So it's kind of like, just because they do the same things don't mean that they're the person that's going to bring you the growth that you need or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So, like, I just found that, like, it put me in these funny positions where you do have to act, like, you do have to initiate everything. It's kind of, you're a spiritual initiate at that point. So, like, you're a creator or you're aligning with creation. So you have to really, it always does boil down to you because you've taken control of the breath, so you've taken control of your life. So, like, it does, like, require action in some way, you know what I mean? It's just the non-action action. So it's like,
yeah.
It's funny, like, how, I don't know, I could just see myself, like, when I wasn't really getting it. When I was being, like, overly passive and not, like, being active, like, at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel like when I would be around somebody that was not in alignment with the breath, that they would just get all my bad news. They're like, I'm going to just vent to you and give you all the bad news and make you take yourself away from me. So, even though I don't even really care about these things, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's like a vent, literally, like, blowing air. Like, it's a vent. Yeah.
It's a way for me to complain about everything and not say, like, hey, you get away from me, I don't want to be around you, which would solve the issue right now, and it would clear the air, and it's, the idea of what would happen is always worse than the reality of what happens.
Always.
Like, because if you tell a motherfucker, like, look, I don't want to be around you, man, like, look, just please, like, I don't know if I might want to be around you again another time, but right now,
I don't
want to be, and if you keep contacting me, you're going to just keep getting bad news. Like, this is the side of me that you'll know, because I don't want to be around you, so I'm already out of my own alignment, so this is what you're going to get, and I don't want to behave from this place. So, I have to tell you. But I noticed in that process that I really was kind of just kept putting the ball in their court, and it's like, nah, this is your time, man. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, the action that rose by itself, the water was clear, and I was like, you make the decision. It's like, no, this is your life. Like, life isn't, you control the breath way too much to not be active.
It's a total expression of the mind, like, the way that, for sure.
Like, because at that point, then it's kind of like, you're, like, giving credence to the Tao not being in control if you, like, give it up like that.
Yeah.
And then it just creates more chaos.
Routine is the husk of all chaos.
Yeah.
Whatever he says.
And it's funny because that being so paradoxical of a, you know what I mean? People.
I know, that always, when I first heard it, I was like, wait, what? But
that bothers people a lot.
But yeah, that one took me a minute till I was like, oh, okay.
I've seen people really, like, force me to block them over that one. You know
really?
Yeah, I mean, I'll block people, like,
well, but they're just so attached to, like, routine, I guess?
Yeah, like, that's the thing, right? I just want to say, no one's entitled to my fucking response. just like I'm not entitled to them acknowledging what I have to say or understanding it. I'm not entitled to that.
Yeah, at all.
So it's the same thing. Like, you're not entitled to my response.
And it's also harassment if you continue to send a message after we've read it or replied to you and the conversation has ended.
Yeah, it really is harassment. I'm pretty sure digital harassment is going to come out soon here.
It's got to, at the rate of our DMs. It's got to.
I mean, I know they got cyberbullying and all that type of shit, but I feel like it's going to be like, you're going to get a fine, yo. You just messaged them 5 times.
Right.
And they left you on red 5 times. You're going to get a $50 fine. You know, like,
for real. Like, they double tapped the message, bro. They saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Yeah.
But no, that one has definitely gotten people blocked. And I block people all the time, so it's not special. People that have been blocked. Okay?
Yeah.
It's not special. So,
it's
like,
definitely a daily activity for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all can all get on a bullet diet and eat a bullet. You know what I mean? That's y'all business. But I'm just saying, like, as far as that specific line, that's 38 or 58. The way I remember is weird. but I think that's either 38 or 58. But that one,
I don't remember.
I think it's 38. I don't know, but either way, right? Ritual is the husk of true faith, because what the Tao is lost. When the Tao is lost, there's goodness. When goodness is lost, there's morality. When morality is lost, there's ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith. People don't get that. Like, mad people have really been like, how is ritual? Not how is that chaos? How is that the beginning of chaos?
Yeah.
If it's ritual, you know what I mean? If it's something I'm doing ritually, how is this chaotic? And it's like, yo, you know what I mean? You don't really realize like how neurotic you are. Like,
right, yeah.
By subscribing to this.
Yeah. The first time I heard it, it hit me because I was just so like in that matrix of whatever. But it's like, it's just, I don't know, man. The Tao is just so funny when it hits people differently like that. Like, it never made me angry, for one. If anything, it made me just like, wait, maybe he's got a point. Like, what the fuck am I doing? What are these routines?
You just gotta afford yourself that perspective of like, the unseen governs this whole seen life, and so like, once you can step back into that, you stop trying to police things. You know what I mean? Like he was saying, what do you say? The moral man does something, the good man does something, everybody does something, and there's still things to be undone. And then the moral man, he uses force. So it's like, it's just fun. Like, when you get in touch with like your own life and your own body, the way it's like balancing out and taking care of things, and you see how that applies to the rest of life, it's much easier to have faith in the process of things, to where you're like, I don't need to say anything right here, because if I do, it'll interrupt the process.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like, when that's like when the Tao is lost. As soon as you start trying to police it.
Yeah, measure life and do dumb stuff like that. I feel like anytime I try to measure life or time something, it's just never, the peace is gone. Yeah. So then you're just relying on people or things turning out of goodness. And then you're like, all right, well, shit, man. Morality gotta, morality gotta take care of this, right? I mean, come on, people gotta have their morals. And obviously, motherfuckers that, if we look at life itself now, people are not acting out of goodness and morality every time they make a decision or behavior. So, like, at all.
Obviously, these things, whether you subscribe to them or not, isn't going to change the way the world is, in a sense, because these experiences have to exist, so there's continuity, so that the other side can exist. The person following the Tao, or the Tao expressing itself in human form or whatever, like, you need, like, the short defines the long. And I feel like people just, they you know what I mean? Every part of the Tao Te Ching sets the next one up.
Oh, yeah, it's so perfect.
And so I feel like, did you not read the first 37 parts? Like, how did you get to this and still not get it? Because it's really pretty much the same thing being said in 81 different ways.
Yeah. It really is, though.
Yeah. Like, it's
and then I've had, like, people be like, so does the Tao say anything about the breath? And I'm like, if you heard anything in the Tao, it's pretty much all about the breath, really. If you really want to look at it for its whole entity, like, all kind of comes back to that. Non-action and...
Yeah. Action without... working without effort, I mean, come on. Like...
Yeah.
Act without doing, like, that is the breath.
Yeah. But people always just want the literal, like, word and whatever.
Yeah, but that's why you got to read the Wahoo Ching, the companion.
Yeah, that's another solid one. I don't think many people know about that one.
Yeah, it's called, see, like, it's funny because it's like Republican Democrat type thing. Like, when China was burning books and the Buddhists were taking over, they were burning all these Wahoo Chings. You know what I mean? And burning everything. You know what I mean? It's like a constant back and forth with that, man. Religions are hilarious, man. Yeah. So, like, it's like...
The Tao also shits on those, too.
Yeah. It's the Wahoo Ching does, too. Like, if you worshiping a deity, it's like putting a head on top of your head. But, like, the Wahoo Ching, though, I feel like it's perfect, man. It's neck and neck with the Tao Te Ching. I don't think it's any better or worse. It's like a more...
Nah, yeah, they're definitely both quality.
Yeah. It's like they're both sides of the same coin. It's like a more in-depth one that like Lao Tzu has some time to like
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me expand on these 81.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because the Hua Ching means for the barbarians, and they're talking about Buddhists being barbarians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, depending on who's winning at the time, you know, you have, I forget what the sayings of the Buddha is like. It's got a name, but that book's probably winning. You know what I'm saying? When the Buddhist is winning, and then when the Taoist is winning, then the Hua Ching is like well known.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But when you think about it, the Tao Te Ching has only been in English translation since like the mid 1800s, yo. People have really, you think about that, like, yo, we really in a special time.
We really are.
Like, because they had to go through all those rudimentary translations to where it was like, this is not poetic. We got to redo this. Like, and so it inspired all these people to redo it over the course of time because, I mean, really, English readers had no idea until 170 years ago. It's not even that long ago. You know what I mean? What was that one Indonesian dude? Was like, how old was he? Like 130, 140? Something like that?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
But that's only like 30 more years out of his lifespan, 40 more years out of his lifespan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Tao Te Ching been available. And, like, it just, to think, like, how life could be as far as, like, the Western world and English being the standard language. If everyone on Earth had, it kind of sound like a Jesuit or something now, though. Like, I want everybody to read this shit. Like,
I know, yeah, because everybody just be thinking, like, I'm a Taoist or whatever. And it's like, the Tao doesn't have a name. It's unnamed. I'm not like a Taoist or believe.
It's older than God.
It's before the Bible. It's before everything. Like, it's not even about that. It's really not even about categorizing anything.
Yeah, I just feel like since it's only been around about 170 years in English, that it really literally hasn't like sunken into the species like it will over the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it would be a different world as that, because I think it's like the second most printed book on Earth, though.
Is it really?
I think so. It's like the Bible, the Tao Te Ching, and the Quran. I think that's how. I think those are the 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So
like to the Tao.
Yeah, and you the most in shape. You the slimmest of all 3 of them. You know what I mean? Other ones is out of shape Taos.
Yeah, for real, yo. That's what's so great about it. It's so simple. Yeah. It's not 300 pages.
I've read all 3 of them books, yo, and I really could say, like, you can kind of forego the other 2 and just read the Tao Te Ching. I mean, it's nice to read the other ones. They're cool. They just reaffirm the Tao Te Ching if you have, if you can really detach from reading it, though. If you read it as like as a follower of gospel, then I don't think you can read all 3.
Yeah, I don't think it'll receive the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody go read the Tao.
Yeah. All the Christians are gonna read it with a slant. The Muslims will read it with a slant. It's like, it's kind of whack.
Yeah.
But I've sat here though and watched a Palestinian Muslim. He fasted with me for 10 days. I watched him read both those books, Hua Ching and Tao Te Ching. And I saw his faith get shaken immediately. That's it. I can see, like, he's never going to let go of Allah, because it's like kind of how I can never let go of Christ fully.
Right.
I just integrate it.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like it's like, that's kind of the thing. It's funny to just see, like, look,
literally shift his whole thing. Yeah, his whole reality.
Imagine you were going on your whole life acting like, I don't know, whatever. Well, I don't know what you was doing. I don't know what you're going through. So, like, once you get that Tao Te Ching perspective, you be like, damn, like, every other book is more clear now. Everything else is more clear. It's like,
and the clarity's
it's like a spiritual contact lens.
Yeah. It's funny to think about how, like, the Tao and all this existed, like, all of our lives. Like, as children, we weren't aware of this, but that was existing. No?
Yeah, like, you know of it in a way that doesn't even have a name Tao.
Yeah.
And then, like, somehow you lose it, but it's never gone. That's the craziest thing about it.
It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's
you
such
lose this
like
shit,
mind
it's
fuck.
never
But
gone.
yeah. It's always present.
Because as a kid, you can kind of feel it, and then like after getting exposed
I feel like you're moving
to
with it, like you're kind of probably more moving with it as a child.
Yeah, like you are it and shit.
Right.
So like, when you get reintroduced to it as an adult, that's kind of your point of reference. You're like, oh yeah, that's right, I did know that, and I did do that, and life events did play out these ways, and you know, it kind of makes everything kind of cheesy and typical though. You'd be like, man, I'm really aware of all these ins and outs, and now not that I can't enjoy life, it's just become very specific. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I can't even give a fuck about certain things because
it's like almost, it's really impossible.
Yeah, because you're not dumb enough to care.
Yeah, it's not even in you. Like that is just literally not even in you.
It really it relieves so much desire. Like as far as like experiences, like you can kind of go through the experiences before you get there, and you're like, man, there's no point in this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you get halfway through some shit, and you be like, so wait, what? I already know where this is headed because of the Tao. Like,
yeah, all the time. All the time. This makes me want to go listen to it. Anyway, I don't know, man. We had an hour and 30.
You want to jump off?
Unless you got some more. I mean, that's a solid little hour and 30. Y'all got a lot of info in that hour and 30.
Yeah. We can jump off.
$3.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got.
What's your favorite smoothie right
now? I'm feeling berries lately. Man, it's funny how, like, I never really got to do figs. Like, I never tried figs I don't know, it's just one of those things I never really did. And so, like, I've discovered them while learning the breath. So it was just like, oh, these are amazing. Why didn't I really get to have these the way that I probably would have, like, binged on them? But no.
I used to abuse my pancreas so bad.
Yeah, so, like,
corners of my mouth just be, like, lit up.
Yeah, berries and figs is a good time. Like blueberries. I've been really feeling blueberries lately. Just berries, which is funny because usually like berries are my least favorite for sure. But pineapple has been like not in my life at all. I don't know what that's about, but past year, sometimes with green juice, but I'm like just so earthy, I guess. I don't know, but I really just be liking them green juices that are like green. I don't know. But,
just green by itself?
Yeah, like it don't have no pine. I mean, we have an apple in it, so that's like a sweet and lemon. But
see, I don't know.
The pineapple sometimes is just too much. I'm like, it's just overriding. I can't really taste what I want to taste here.
I can do just greens by themselves. You know what I mean? Like I can do them just by themselves. But if I put a fruit with it, like I'm definitely picking pineapple, probably, man.
Yeah,
like,
I always pick apple.
Like pineapple. So they always people. Y'all need to listen to this one because I don't give this one up that much. Pineapple, celery, Dino kale, cilantro, and you can add ginger or not. I feel like that's my favorite green juice with fruit.
That's simple, so I can see that being good. I don't like when there's like a lot of greens and pineapple. It's just too much.
Or dandelion instead of kale.
Yeah, I love dandelion. Yeah, when I juice dandelion, it smells so good.
Yeah, dandelion I would prefer. I prefer dandelion, you know what I mean, for sure. Or arugula. So, okay, all right, now I'm getting crazy. Arugula or dandelion over kale. But Dino kale's not, as far as the taste. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Arugula and dandelion, them shits make me feel great. Like, I'd be like, yo, my life is different now. Like,
I love dandelion. Yeah, dandelion is a game changer. Total reset.
Yeah. I used to get arugula by the bushel. That was, you know what I mean, the big arugulas.
Yeah.
But,
no, definitely, yeah.
So your favorite smoothie is berries right now and figs?
Berries and figs is a good time.
It's in season, so that's nice.
Yeah, I'm chilling with that. I don't know, like lately the super sweets just haven't really been calling me, like strawberries. I mean, that's still a berry, but like mango, like, and I love mangoes, but lately, I don't know. We're not there yet. I'm sure I'll come back to them, though. I love mangoes. I'm sure I'll get back. But right now, they're not calling me.
Yeah, like, you just gotta go on a break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we on a break up right now. And pineapple, I don't know. Maybe I just really outdid pineapple when I first was doing it. Because I just haven't had a desire for it at all.
Yeah, like right now my favorite smoothie is just papaya banana.
Cause you're boring. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, nah, it is.
But less is more.
Boring. What?
I said, but less is more. Yeah, like.
It takes out that when I get on when I do something like that and it's like kind of routine. I mean, papayas hold well. I live 50 miles from a store, so it's kind of like.
Yeah.
Papayas and bananas hold well. So like, I feel like I could get like a box of papayas from the Asian supermarket or from anywhere really. Mexican papayas out here too. Mm. But like, so I could get that shit and it, it holds real long, and it's filling and it's cheap, and like, I have there's different times. It's kind of like, I guess, if you get people that get avocados at different stages, and you got one ripe one, two ripe ones, or whatever, one's green. Like, that's how I would do it with the papayas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gang of papayas going on at different rates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gotta be in the mood for papaya. Papaya blueberry is good though. That's a good time.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
That's another one I guess I do here and there. But again, yeah, like really sweet. I mean, figs are really sweet. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm getting away from sweets, but like I said, I wish I'd like had my time with them when I was just like an abusive vegan and really like did it, cause then I just had to abuse them liquid form a little bit. Which, I mean, isn't the worst thing, but it's just like, man, why didn't I discover these when I was first going vegan and stuff? Like, I probably would have had boxes of them things, but it's probably for the best. Like, I probably would not have teeth right now.
Yeah. It just do taste amazing.
They're so good. And I've always liked fig Newtons as a kid, so I don't even know why I never just tried figs. I don't know what took so long. But,
yeah, that is wild.
Yeah. I don't know.
Some people hate fig Newtons.
Yeah, I love fig Newtons. It used to be my thing at volleyball, actually, speaking full circle moment here. That was the thing during volleyball season always. I would always get a pack of figs. Like the end of each game or like whatever. Not eat the whole pack, but I'd probably eat like half of that pack.
Yeah, I used to eat figs with sports because I remember I used to eat, at the time I was eating Nutri-Grain bars in high school. Mm-hmm. And then I seen like somewhere it was saying 1 fig is a Nutri-Grain bar value.
Oh, really?
Nutritional value. Yeah, one fig bar, one little fig joint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1 fig. So I was like, is this really real? You know what I mean? 1 fig.
Yeah.
So then I felt like that's when I made my switch to figs. But what's the name? I was gonna say, yeah, like once you get like a cycle of a smoothie, you just be like, this doesn't taste like anything anymore either, and I don't want this shit either.
Yeah, that's what I think happened with mangoes, because I was doing mango strawberry for a long time, and then I was just like, I'm not into it. We're breaking up. Like, yeah. And I just haven't wanted it since, because it's always how it is. Like once you like get a juice or a smoothie you're really feeling, you abuse it for a little bit, and it's like the only one you ever really want, and then one day you're just like, it's not even there anymore. And you're kind of almost sad because you're like, all right, what do I got to do now? Like, what combo are we going to make now?
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about the breath, because it makes it obvious. It's almost like a whisper, like, now it's time for...
Yeah, like we're now shifting.
Like, you filled all these other gaps. Mm-hmm. The decision is arising by itself now.
Yeah.
You did mango and banana or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now it's time to switch it. Yeah. And you get, I don't know. What's another fruit? I really don't like that many fruits, to be real.
I was going to be real. My smoothies really rotate like the same 5 fruits. I really don't get too crazy. I really don't experiment. I don't get like dragon fruit or jackfruit. I don't ever do anything. Like, I'm always just like the same 5, probably, same base.
Yeah, I'm a boring Norman or whatever. But like,
definitely.
It's like, when I was in Egypt, though, I feel like they taught me a lot of smoothies I do fuck with. Like, motherfucking, like, mango and cantaloupe was good there.
I never did that.
Mango and cantaloupe worked. I mean, I know you're not supposed to mix melons, but that was one of them ones that, like, they put me on. And then, kiwi and mango smoothie.
I think you mentioned that, or I've heard that before. I never tried that.
Yeah. That one's all right, but again, that one kind of burns out quick on me.
I can see that being like a Starburst every day.
Yeah. Like, it's cool at first, and then you're just like, all right, enough of this.
Yeah.
And, what else?
I really don't get weird with them. Like, papaya is probably the most exotic thing up in my smoothies.
Berries and cherries.
I don't really like cherries like that.
Oh, well, whatever.
Well, I don't. Maybe I haven't had like good ones. You know what I'm saying? I probably only been exposed to like the really artificial ones.
Berries and cherries, I guess, with bananas is the typical one. It got to be cold though. Like smoothies that I only like when they're cold. I question them ones. I'll be like, do I really like it? Do I really? I mean, really, or is it really good?
That's
the smoothies that I can take down when they're like warmer fruits or fruit that you just cut it up and throw it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like mainly papaya, banana, mango, papaya, banana. What else?
You just reminded me that I got a whole watermelon to juice at home. I hope it's in season. Like it's not in season, so I just hope that it's like.
I was so disappointed like a week ago with this.
I'm really hoping that it's good because I'm gonna be so sad.
I was like, it's technically May. Maybe it is just a first.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I'm rolling the dice here. It looks great. It's been sitting up there for like a week. I don't know what's gonna happen when I open that thing.
California definitely smoked me with that one. I was like confident too. Like we good. There's no way I'm not good.
Georgia supposedly has really good melons. I don't know if that's like a thing, but they're known for melons. So.
I had some really good watermelons in. What was it?
You had one here actually. Remember when Fig was eating out of it?
Yeah. Them Jones was definitely good there. I think South Carolina, and I had some really good grapes from South Carolina too before.
Yeah, I recently just juiced grapes for like the first time. They're just dangerous.
Yeah, grape juice is great, but that's juice. We talking juice now.
Yeah, that's juice, and it's definitely like getting drunk. Juice and grapes are just so, man, them things.
Yeah.
I just really be feeling it so fast with that.
You're like a wino.
Yeah. I gotta like plan the day if I'm gonna have grape juice. Like, all right, what am I gonna be operating a vehicle? Because it could get risky.
If I gotta do some public speaking, this is not gonna work.
My speech is gonna be a little slurred. I think I actually had a breath session the day I did that too, and I was like, I'm a little off right now. Okay.
They don't be knowing it. They breath be. I mean,
yeah, they've had like cheeseburgers and stuff that day, so it's cool. They're on a whole other.
Seems like it would hurt so bad.
I know.
Like,
so bad.
People always say that shit to me, like, should I have this or should I have that? I'm like, yo, breathe, diatomaceous earth, the herbs, your diet's gonna fix itself, bro.
I know. I always. That's what's so frustrating with the DMs about vegan or eating. I'm like, all I can tell you to do is go breathe. Because if I tell you like anything else, it doesn't even matter. Like none of that matters. Literally, it would all fall into place if you just start breathing. Your diet will literally just change. Like, cause I didn't plan this. I wasn't like, you know what? I'm gonna go breatharian and I'm gonna just only consume liquids and blah blah blah. Did not plan it at all. Nothing in me was like, I'm gonna do what my brother and Audrey are doing. I was just like, I just want to learn what the breathwork thing is about. Let's see what that is like.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, I guess we're not eating.
Yeah, I'm like, welcome to the club. I don't know what to do in my life yet either.
It was like, oh shit. Yeah, it was like, oh shit. How do I fill the time? What do I do with people? This is all people know how to do. I think that was the hardest part, was just social scenarios and people. But now I'm at a place where I again don't care, and it's like, if that's all we can do together, then I don't really want to hang out together anyway. So it's like, I don't really care to be validated or keep that company.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you're really dealing with somebody. It's almost like somebody that's never had sex before. You're like, man, I don't know. I can only hang out with you in certain doses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, you don't know about the breath, bro. We can't even talk like adults, kind of.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It really is, though. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the breath is the truth. It's a simple thing, and I feel like just showing that, like, it's cheesy, but showing that just appreciation and gratitude for something that's, like, literally always there really just changes everything.
Yeah, it's like, man, this is always available, and it's a better high, and it's free.
Mm-hmm.
There's no come down residue, and I don't hate myself when I do. I've never had an hour and been like, man, I wish I didn't do a breath session.
Yeah. That's why I always say it's like, not like the gym, because you can leave the gym and be like, man, that was a really shitty workout, and I hate myself.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? I definitely am doing this because I ate some shit I shouldn't have ate, and now I didn't work out the way I could have. Didn't have the same range of motion.
Yeah. Trying to like do just trying to come back from where you fell off of. But yeah, no breathwork session ever feel. I mean, even ones that are really bad, like the other day was not a great one, like, but it was still great. You know what I'm saying? It always kind of brings you back to like an equilibrium in some sense of like, okay, we know empty and we know full.
All right. Yeah, because it feels like shit. If I don't put this in and have a shitty one, then I'm gonna just fall further behind. The next one's gonna be even shittier.
Yeah. Like, for sure.
So, yeah, it just becomes so obvious. It's like you freeze your body in time. It's like, you know, people are like, what do you do about the weight, whatever? And I'm like, yo, look, man, work out, figure out the body you want to find, then start doing breath work, and you'll be able to pretty much like freeze your body in some type of equilibrium in there.
Yeah. You know? That's probably one of the number one questions. I feel like maybe not number one, but a lot of people just worry about losing the weight, or like dudes don't want to lose muscle or whatever.
I mean, just don't want to, you don't want to carry all that inflammation, man, all that swelling all your life, you know what I mean?
Like, swole is to be swollen, y'all.
It's the first symptom of a disease or an injury. Like, I just don't understand why people don't, like, if you're competing for something and it's like your livelihood, you know, whatever, man, just incorporate the breath work, and then when that changes, then, you know, that changes, but, because it will change. You ain't going to be able to compete
all your life.
Physically forever, You ain't going to want to.
No.
So, it's like, it's a funny thing with that. Like, if you're doing, you know what I mean, if you're doing the breath work and you are, I guess, playing instead of like working out based out of like guilt, it's not really love, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's different when you're like playing and you're just at play and moving the body that way than like with that guilt momentum. And like, it's just, it's really no excuse. Like, well, you don't need to carry this much inflammation around if you're not in high levels of competition.
Yeah, it's like that need to protect or to guard or to whatever just dies when you know what I'm saying, if you're not doing that activity. Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you're brutal with life and you do brutal workouts, life is going to be brutal to you. And so I guess you created a life where you got to be defensive.
Right.
But as soon as you start being more gentle with life and like seeing life from a different place, you don't even have to behave as defensive. And like, knowing about the Tao, then you know everything balances out. Like, you're not really even ever put in fights that you can't do something in it, you know, to get you to resolve it, or
back to peace,
or to just be an equal fight.
Right. Yeah, because I think that's what I always ask everybody. Is like, well, why do you want the muscles? Like, what for? What? And I think people don't even ever question themselves as to why they want it. They just become a part of them. Like, well, I'm supposed to have muscles and be strong. But it's like, why? Like, what do you do every day that you really like need to be jacked?
I just, you know, I want to attract some meathead chick. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, what do you want to attract? Like, you want to attract somebody that is like so into bodily identification that they're really wowed by the fact that you have more blood in your tissue. That's really what it is. People like, I got muscles. I'm like, you have swollen tissue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's weird how that's changed for me. Like, saying as a chick, I gotta just say, like, that's definitely shifted. Like, that definitely used to be like an attractive thing, and now I'm like, are you okay? It's like, man, like, I want to help. Like, you're stiff right now. Like, are you okay?
Yeah, it's an existential pain meme, where it's like, I work out to be in physical pain on top of my existential pain, like, so it can match inside out. But
and that's a wild shift to like not really see that as being attractive.
Yeah, like, that's what people are really wowed by. It's like the same, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you see the blood in an area of a person, and you become attracted because it's in their physical body. Like, it's not like they're not just simply radiant and like it's balanced, and you are more intrigued, and you go with the natural spur of attraction and pry into it. It's really like goldfish. Like, oh my God, I seen the blood in this area of their physical body. Like, it's like, you're really wowed by that. Like, I don't even want this attention. Like,
no, I'm not trying to track that at all. Yeah.
So it's wild, man, how people are with the working out thing. Like, And I truly feel like if you get sunlight, that every area of your body that gets sunlight stays more developed muscularly.
Yeah. Like, but then you got people that are like, man, I live in wherever they live, Nebraska.
That's why I feel like dark-skinned people are inclined to be better at athletics because it's just more melanin per square inch, and it's just like more light absorption.
Yeah, the energy is crazy.
Body's running off light. Yeah. So it's like, it's just more, more defined. You know what I mean? It's the archetype and shit. So it's the model and everything. So it's like, it's more defined. Everything's more defined, and you don't have to like, I don't know, you don't have to swell it with blood for it to appear defined.
Right. And I mean, it's still strong. The
circulation, because you're getting the sunlight, absorbing light, and the circulation is so good because you're not obstructing it.
Right.
That it stays in a certain place. But, if you have parasites, then you're going to look more emaciated, you know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, then you got that, then you got people like, well, I've seen people just looking anorexic.
Well, they stop eating or stop feeding the parasite, and then they didn't cleanse it out.
Right.
So, so it's like now you got this thing that's just eating your blood and eating you. And, like, it's more of a direct eating going on. So, you know what I mean? Like, and then whenever you do eat, you probably feed it just enough. So it just sticks around and lingers. So people got to really detox and cleanse them, make your house inhospitable to parasites.
Yeah, build it down. I break it down to build it back up, yeah.
Yeah, to where, then you're not going to be emaciated,
Yeah.
You build a whole fucking pyramid or a whole civilization on uneven ground, you got to tear it down. It might seem like, oh my God, we made this great thing, but it's like, you can make something better, and you got the opportunity to. And you might as well. So it's like...
That's why the breath, that's why fasting without the breath is just not even the same. Like people that tell me they do 12-day water fasts, and they look crazy, and I'm like, man, you couldn't have been practicing breath work for an hour at least, every day.
They're not really addressing their emotions. They're just going through the mechanical act of cleansing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just all physical. It's not.
Yeah, so the gradual lifestyle never really changes. You know what I mean? And they just yo-yo.
Right.
Because it's mechanical cleansing. So
because then they just bounce right back and go right back into whatever.
Or just fill it with another thing that, you know what I mean, that doesn't really grow them. It just keeps the breath in a certain place still.
Yeah.
Like plenty of people are going to stop smoking and start eating.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Man, story of so many of my friends.
Yeah,
stop eating and start smoking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, stop eating this thing, and then you rotate it over to this thing that damages that area another way.
Yeah, got to fill the void somehow.
Yeah, so if you're not doing the breath work, I always say that, man, like, if you do breath work and fast and then, do some activity, that's, probably, 5-10 days of if your lifestyle's already liquid, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If your lifestyle's already liquid and then, you go from smoothies and juices to, just coconut water or water and you work out and you do breath work, 1 day of that.
It's a whole week.
Yeah. That shit, because time is already kind of slowed down. You so in the moment. So where, the 24 hours is, you feeling them.
Yeah.
And because you, obviously, if you're doing breath work and just fasting, most of your day is probably going to be breath work. So,
right.
You fill in the void another way. So it's it really slows it down to where, you know what I mean? It's a lot more difficult. It's a different place, 40 days fasting on, with breath work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's different than 40 days without.
Yeah, because you reach those different stages. I've reached them stages where I'm like, I've been on coconut water and green juice for 90 days, and I'm not even thinking about it. And you know what I mean? It's just happening, and you it's always that the opportunity presents itself. All right, so you're gonna nut up or shut up. You're gonna go to the next level and be mainly watertarian and every other day it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And then if you either going into that phase. And, it just gets easier and easier to do them phases and to sustain them if you're doing breath work. But, if you, you know what I mean? If you're not doing breath work and you do mechanically cleanse, it's you're going to go right back to your life.
Yeah, because it's just, again, measuring life, too. That's the other thing when people do, 30-day cleanses and stuff. I used to do it, but you get so attached to that measurement. I feel like you always, like you said, you come back and what really shifted? You didn't really shift much. You just, for 30 days, were focused on this one thing, but You came back and then did 30 days of like the same, you know what I'm saying? It just really didn't heal anything. You didn't heal anything.
Yeah. And you think about it because, like, all right, so you stumble on the path and it's a smoothie, or you stumble even further, maybe a soup or whatever like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the worst case scenario, it's like gourmet raw. You know what I mean, or some shit like that. Like, that's like your worst case scenario. That's when you got in breath work. That's you're like, man, I feel heavy and like shit, like a hangover.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Off of gourmet raw.
Yeah.
Like, so like, people, it's a different space. You know what I mean? Like, and if you know, so like, because if you really going to where you shrink in your intestines, and there's so much so much connectivity, and there's no separation, and you like, I don't have no desire, but I don't know how to deal with this society. Like, you gotta, you know, it's like you gotta really be away, and I feel like it kind of, you gradually do breath work, it gives you the opportunity to show yourself how to get away, and like,
yeah, I
feel like people that don't do the breath work, they're always gonna mechanically cleanse and then stay in the system still.
Yeah.
You know, and then
you really experience that like pressure change, the density change when you're doing breath work, versus just fasting. I feel like you don't really feel what that feels like. Like, you might feel the emptiness, but that emptiness with the breath is like really like, okay, I'm empty. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to feel this, really.
I can touch the front of my spine, and all my intestines are like kind of in one spot.
Yeah. And that alone, like, being able to do that versus then when, you have, like, the raw gourmet, or you have some, like, or gourmet raw, or you have some type of soup, is so much, like, just knowing how different and hard it is to do that, to completely be empty, man, it's like, I wish everybody could experience that, because then you'd be like, wow, I really don't want to put these many things in this space. Like, there's no need to do that, because it'd be so hard for days after consuming something that's a little more dense. To really breathe.
The stomach is really the size of your fist. Like, that's what people don't really get with us, like, the way we are. Like, we'll talk about, like, I'm drunk off this smoothie right now.
Yeah, all the time. Like, drunk naps and drunk smoothie times, all the time. But,
but it's the different ratio of parasites, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't been doing diatomaceous earth and the herbs, you have so much thrush in there, probably.
Yeah.
That, like, it's like, because that's what's happening. The candida's taking the fructose or the ethanol in the fruit and converting it into alcohol just so that it can feed itself and expand. So, like, you know, as you start that out and wipe the walls down with the diatomaceous earth and everything, and you don't have that much thrush, like, you taking in this sugar, and you don't even have the parasites to cash that check, yo. Like, you don't even really, I mean, you really dealing with, like, you know what I mean? The alcohol is gonna ferment and just hit your bloodstream. There's no fungus eating this shit for me.
Right.
So, like, you know, you can realize how quickly you get drunk off of fruit.
Oh, man. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying about the grape juice. It's crazy. It's like, does not take much.
That's why I need the green juice, man. Like, to me, green juice is more stable than the other ones, because if I get even coconut water, I'd be spiked off that shit, and I'd be like, I need more. I need another one.
Like, and that's always, like, funny to go through, like, every day. Like, you know, because you could dry fast most days. I'm like, when I'm really on the breath, I'll be like, man, it's 5 p.m. and I haven't even thought about food. And then it's just funny how, like, once your taste buds get that one taste, they be like, let's do 3 more. Like, it's literally like alcohol.
Yeah. Like, you think about, like, how different it is. Like, think about it relatively speaking, right, Case? You went however many hours in the day saying no, right? And then, so then you say yeah, and you have some coconut water. And then it's like, you want another coconut water, 16 minutes after the first one? Like, it took you 12 hours before, you know what I mean?
Like that gap of time gets really short. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
let me power 5 of these down. Like, whoa.
Yeah, people don't realize that the stretching and what that does, and like how, you know, you're banging up your pancreas and your spleen, and everything's getting stretched out. But, like, you know, at the same time, you're not even really appreciating it or enjoying it the same way.
Yeah.
It's like when I used to smoke, and I would just be smoking all the time. It's like, you can't get any higher, dog. Like, it's in you. You're intoxicated off of this substance. It's like, it is what it is.
Right.
Like, you know, and it's kind of the same thing. Like, you're drinking the water or the coconut water, and it's like, you can only metabolize so much at once, to where you're getting hydrated and you're not just going to piss this out.
Right.
Like,
in case you're not even filtering it. Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well do it fully so that you can appreciate it, and then you don't need as much, and then you have more.
Because, so man, like, if you're really on the breath and have, like, one coconut, you'd be like, I am full. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
them
and don't
Jones.
let it be not 80 degrees because I'm gonna have a shiver.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Temperature
For sure.
control
If it's
off.
not 80 and up, definitely throwing the whole everything off. Temperament is gone.
Yeah, like the whole, you know what I mean? And that's that pH, you know what I mean? It's just shifting.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like in those moments when the pH is fluttering like that, that it's like, you can just give in and keep giving in.
Yeah. That's really, it's such a slippery slope. That's why it's like, them days, I love them days where it goes so long without having it. Because then I'm like, I mean, I could probably just make it, what, I got 5 more hours of the day? And then it just be them like, all right, I'm going to just not eat today. Random dry fast or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know, if you have just a sip of even just water, like just doing that action of like something in your mouth, you know what I'm saying? The whole fixation. It's like, well, I could do coconut water. And it's like, well, I could do juice. Well, like it just goes down the densities like, oh.
Yeah, because, it's like it changes the way the energy runs through you, yo. Like, as soon as your stomach expands and is holding that weight, like, this shit changes it. And, I mean, people are not going to get to this stage. Most people will die before they get to this stage, you know what I mean? But it's really an enjoyable thing to be this aware, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Where you go to Whole Foods just to feel something.
Like, my energy has changed. My axis has, like, changed the way my body is, like, I feel like it's like a spin. It's like a rotation, like, that's kind of going on. And, like, as soon as it starts to wobble, as soon as something starts to expand. It's kind of how I look at it in my inner vision.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what I be seeing. Like, I can just see, like, oh, my balance is off. pH is a little bit off. So what's up with a smoothie? What's up with some company that I should not have around?
Yeah, it just trickles. It just ripples, man. It just goes from, like, let's just keep it going. Let's just get chaos in here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, like, the inside is really like the outside. You know what I'm saying? There's no separation and stuff. So it just be like... It always goes like that. Like, anytime I've had cooked or just even raw, it's just like, okay, what's going to happen in the next 24 hours or, like, next week or so? Like, what's about to happen?
Yeah. Because you never know. You could fall off, man. Like, I fell off for a minute at one point, yo. People don't really realize, like, I was jumping on the breath train 2012, yo. Yeah. So, like, you know what I mean? I was 22 years old, like, freshly divorced. You know what I mean? As soon as I got on the breath, it was like, here goes the money to travel the world. I was like, yo, I'm really about to deny this? And, you know, I got spoiled. And then I was like, I get spoiled and I throw my temper tantrums. And then, you know, I would get behind on the breath and not breathe. And, like, it's like you trying to, like, go on strike on yourself or some shit. I don't know. It's dumb.
I feel like I'm only probably, like, year-ish for me. And I definitely, like, have them little waves of being off of it. But then it just is so, like, man, it's just so the other side of the spectrum. Like, once you've been exposed to one side, it's like, this really doesn't feel that good over here. Like, let me crawl back over to that other side. And it's literally like this guilty crawl back over to the other side.
Like, that's the thing that I know I'm going through now and that I've always gone through with this process is like, every time that I get to another level, I realize, like, man, I was quitting just as I was about to reach this level, like, self-sabotaging.
Always.
Every time. And if I just got to this level, I would see things differently and feel like, oh, why was I tripping, like, about this thing?
Yeah.
And, like, this was really a non-factor, and I was really fixated. Like, and it was so many times, like, I've been through that process now where it's like, why you can't let go of the handlebars the same. Like, you just know, like, yo, this is, you know, if I jump off the breath, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm really, really eager to do this, like, or, like, if I'm really, like, I guess, in a tizzy and, like, spoiled, then if I just keep going and stay disciplined, then I'm about to hit this next level. It's almost like the purge. Like, you get spoiled right there before you, like, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of like, it's like, you should probably breathe for sure then. Like,
but you'd be like, but I could just not.
Yeah, I could just go to sleep. I could just do whatever, you know what I mean? I can watch a movie.
Coma. Yeah,
food coma with a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, I can't sleep unless I organize my body a certain way. I won't be able to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And if I do sleep, it won't be like sleep. It'll be like, man, my body, circulation wasn't good throughout sleep.
You wake up feeling crazy. For sure.
I be feeling like my consciousness is in my shoulder. Like, when I wake up, I'll be like, okay, now it's finally I'm in the crown again. Like, I'm not inhabiting them areas fully. Like, it's there, but not fully if I go to sleep.
Yeah.
No. If I go to sleep and don't breathe or have a certain amount of detox, you know what I mean, like of the day,
Yeah.
then there's no way, yo.
Yeah.
It's literally, there's no way. Like life will either not let me go to sleep, or.
And it sucks because, like, to be real, sometimes you want to just, like, again, like, going into Whole Foods just to feel something. You like, man, I just wish I could do, like, normal shit like that. Like I used to do, you know what I'm saying? Just, like, watch Netflix and eat something totally unconscious and then just pass out. But it's, like, the thought of all of that really just right now made my whole stomach hurt. I can't even think about doing that. Like, getting drunk off a smoothie is already enough. Like, I'm like, okay, I partied enough today. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. Like, okay. The discipline has to be here a little bit. Because it's just going to hurt otherwise.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, it's really, it really is like a small thing, you know what I mean? As you go, you know, when you go vegan, you're like, wow, that was a big deal. I can't believe I made it a big deal. I feel so much better.
Right.
It's kind of like that every time now, but it's like more fine. You know, the changes are like tiny. Like if I just do this breath session 5 minutes longer, or do it at this time instead of this time, or you know what I mean, add this part to it, or do this, slow down a little bit, change your body. It's like the little shit. Like it'd be changing the whole development.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just like wow, like it's just so tiny now. Like you can kind of see where it's going.
Yeah.
I think that's what scares people, because they see where it's going, kind of, and like.
Yeah, for sure. And like they just attach to whatever they attach to, but yeah.
It's a crazy thing to see somebody.
This is a good place when you get over that fence. What are you gonna say?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it's crazy when you see somebody like they get the breath and they can see, like, look at them, they're seeing the liberation that comes with this, but then it's like they don't want to be free.
Yeah. Yeah. It is wild to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
And that's why you just can't save the world. I don't think it can be done.
Yeah, they want to be compromised by it. Like the desires the world itself.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like if I change it, you know, it's got to get changed inside out, and so then it's like it really becomes more minute. It becomes as you go through your cycles, it becomes more and more tiny, and it's really specific.
Yeah, it's crazy because I didn't like. I guess this also relates to the fig thing, but I remember like last year, 2019. I'm all forgetting what year it is. Time is not even a factor right now in my life, but I remember like, okay, I'm about to do this raw vegan thing for real, because I'd always come and go from it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna fully go raw, and then I learned the breath, and I was like, damn, we didn't even get to experience that. I don't know what that's like. I remember I had a spiralizer. I was gonna get a dehydrator. I was gonna do that whole thing. It was actually cool. Like I feel like the breath saved me, because I probably would have just abused raw, because you can easily be really gunky and be raw.
Oh yeah.
And like all the nuts and avocados and fats and stuff, and it's just cool. It's just like at first I was like, man, like I felt myself like, oh, I wanted to do that. I wanted to see what that's like. But now it's like, cool. We skipped that whole thing. We didn't have to go through that cycle. Dope.
Yeah, like it kind of it does happen that way, you know. Like when I think about my process, I of course I couldn't do it until I seen it embodied. I had to see it. I had to meet a raw vegan. You know, at the time I didn't know this at the time, but like for me to go and make that shift in 2008 to start going in that direction, it was like I met that raw vegan lady. Everything started, you know, it all. I had to see it. Like it was cool. I've heard of these. I've heard of vegan. I never seen it though.
Yeah, it was like in your reality finally. Like okay, here it is.
And and it's like from there, the next 4 years was like a crash course, pretty much every day of like, what else don't I need? Like, and I feel like every day. I mean, even in the beginning though, just from running into Sebi in 2008, it was pretty much like, damn, if you can fast this long. That was pretty much the question from the beginning, like, well, how much do I really need?
Yeah, like if he's doing that. Yeah.
And I want to get to that.
Yeah.
Like as far as like to know exactly how much I need, to where I know exactly what excess is. And I feel like you continually ask that. You be like, all right, vegan, all right, raw vegan, all right, high raw, you know what I mean? No bad food combinations, fruitarian, whatever. And then liquidarian, wartarian. As you go through that shit, it's kind of like you get over that idea of like, do I need, will I need, and like I feel like that's really what brought me to it, because I was like, so how much fruit? And I'll be like, man, this doesn't really line up, or whatever it is, and I'll be like, this doesn't match. This doesn't match what I'm feeling.
Right.
Like, and so when I had, because since that was what I was really trying to find out, how much I needed, how little I needed to operate at the, I guess, peak my potential. Like, as soon as I arrived at that, like, it was like I got into, breatharianism came to me. Like, it's, the idea of it, and I was like, yo, this is really real. You know what I mean? Having it cross confirmed in a way to where like I wasn't looking for it, somebody sent it to me, and like, but I was looking for it because I was looking for how to not need. And so it's a funny thing, like when the intention is true and shit, you know what I mean? Like how quickly the manifestation can happen if you really have that kind of, true intention. It's like, it's not inhibited by language really any. Like breatharian kind of inhibits it by language in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it definitely does. So much shit comes with that word, but yeah.
Yeah, because like you're telling people like, yo, they be like, what, you gonna live on the breath? And you're like, see, look, you don't understand what the breath encompasses. Like,
and also like we all live off the breath.
Yeah.
I just always get so frustrated with that. I'm like, yo, we all, like, you literally, all of us are breath air. Like, what do you mean? Nothing comes before that.
Yeah, and everything else that you live off of that complements the breath is a reminder of breath.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like whether it's music or dance, or whatever it is,
sports,
sex, whatever,
everything.
It's a everything that is going to increase your health is a reminder of breath. Everything that's going to decrease your health is going to be it's going to make you forgetful of the breath. We'll promote that.
Yeah.
And that's
the thing, the breath is still always there.
Yeah.
It's very shallow and in pain, but it's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's carrying everybody.
Right.
That's what they don't know. It's so ungrateful.
Yeah, that's what I mean by, like, I feel like that's really, truly, like, as far as the abundance part goes with the breath work, is like showing that gratitude for this vital thing that keeps you, like, moves with you all day long, like, reacts with you, does everything with you, like, it's you are it. Like, just showing that appreciation for it, I feel like it gives to you just as much as you give to it.
Yeah. It's like, how do you order your life, You start your day appreciating idols or whatever, I don't know, you know what I mean? Or do you start with the breath?
Right.
And, like, I think, but I don't know, I always tell people, like, everything is light or whatever, everything is energy. Energy equals matter, E equals MC squared or whatever. Like, so you just need to get a different source of energy and have your body high-wired or fine-tuned to where it can receive that energy and sustain itself. And, like, pretty much breatharianism is like, all right, you are going to have to give up these other things to be able to feed off these other energies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, successfully, to where you don't feel lacking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And other people will really, like, give up their breath, chase, get, the money. And then it's like they're just getting, like, dense breath, and they're never really getting to that state. It's just wild. Like, how I'd rather breathe for 8 hours as my job than
anything.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
sure.
Yeah, like, and if something else is breathing to you, really truly is breathing to you, then that'd be nice too. You can do both those things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you're a high level athlete, you play basketball, you could still probably get 2 hours of breath work in a day. You know what I mean? If you were like in the NBA, I think you could still get that off. I think, you know what I mean? And arrange your life around that. I think you could still do it.
Yeah, like if you prioritize it as much as it prioritizes you, yeah, for sure. You can do it. Definitely.
And if your life is really truly that, basketball is breathing, then you won't be doing drugs, you won't be with the wrong person, and you will, like, that will show, since you're not doing all them other things, you have the time. That's what deteriorates the time, really. Mm-hmm. Wanting drugs, chasing drugs, acquiring the drugs, doing the drugs, that's a lot of the time. So once you, like, eliminate that, it's like, how do you not have time for this? Yeah.
I mean, people got their reasons and excuses.
How do you feel, like, as far as, like, when you be sleeping, like, if you do a breath session before bed, like, I feel like I get up dumb early and I have no control over it.
Oh yeah, always.
It should be like a nap and a half if I, you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
can't even.
Especially if it's
I,
like
like
a really good, like deep, like tumo or like just really slow breaths. That was one of the first things I think I noticed actually with breath work, like, cause I was working a job I hated and stuff, so I was only doing it. But I started to again like arrange my day around it, so I would do it right before bed, at least 30 minutes. And I was just sleeping so much deeper than I think I've ever slept. Like I was like, yo, I'm sleeping really hard. Like was I ever really resting all these years? Like you know what I'm saying? It was crazy to think about. It's one of the first things I noticed. And then yeah, now that it's where it's at, as far as just like how much time I give to the breath, sleep has never really been a thing I needed a lot of, but like it's really like, man, 4 hours maybe 5.
yeah, I think my theory on it, right? I think is that we probably should be sleeping like 100 minutes, man. Like if we are still sleeping, you know what I mean? Once you get to like Waltarian and Breatharian,
Mhm.
I think you just consciously activate that rapid eye movement, and every 90 minutes of breath, you're gonna release dimethyltryptamine and have a trip and have a dream or whatever, naturally, consciously.
Yeah.
I feel like you're really at that Waltarian state for long enough, and you're doing breath work. That's probably what, you know what I mean. You don't just recharge with a conscious dream every 90 minutes. Like just be exhilarating every 90 minutes and be mad motivating to keep doing breath work probably, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So um,
Because
because
essentially, you so caught up on the breath.
yeah, at that point, and now now you're going forward. You're not like working off a debt. You're like just going forward with experience.
Mm.
So like I feel like and your body's so light that you can make it fully experience things. You know, I
Yeah.
guess more efficiently.
Yeah.
So like I really feel like since they say REM starts every 90 minutes, that's pretty much. I feel like that's the point where you most want to quit if you just keep breathing.
Mhm.
Typically, you most want to quit around an hour 30, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's the point. I feel like when the body is naturally probably if you just keep going a bit further, the body is naturally gonna release that DMT, and you're going you activate the rapid eye movement and dream consciously. But like, and then I think we have our moments with that shit when you do the breath work and you almost get ejected from your body.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like where you put the body down basically.
For
And like
sure.
you have them moments, but I mean like fully retaining it, the experience.
Mhm.
I feel like that's kind of what it is, like because that's what's happened to me deep within water fast. Going to sleep at night, the dreams felt like that weren't dreams. You know what I mean? It felt like I wasn't ever unconscious. It kind of seamlessly kind of played out.
Yeah.
And like I could feel everything in the dream or whatever you want to call it. I could feel like the sun on my skin and stuff. And like it's just those experiences. I feel like as you get, say you were like super deep into it, you're gonna be having experiences that will grow you. Like if you can like really go through that and time shuts down and you can just traverse into another file, another life, the same fucking letters. You just go into another file and you be like, let me be Mozart or the Mozart version of me or something. Like, and then you can really, I think that's how you can just constantly pull things back. And that's how I feel like knowledge itself has just been seeping in. Just people getting what they can and running back basically. But if you do it, I feel like if we was to consciously do it after, I feel like we're not very far off from it though. It's just like doing that, getting that set up to where I don't think you would need sleep again. I think maybe if you do need sleep, it's just an hour and a half, and then you go into REM. But I feel like whenever you need a bunch of dreams and to get inspired and all that to stay awake, I feel like that's like, I don't know, you blocking something. It's like a deep trauma somewhere that like every time you go to sleep, it might not be in this lifetime. You just keep going back.
Mhm.
Keep going back to as far as you can, and then you just keep going until you get both ends to touch. I was assuming. So like you keep going. That's I guess your immortality, and you have total awareness. But like that's what it feels like. That you continue to go back to that point, almost like where you turned off the game.
Yeah.
Like you're going backwards into the past lives, but it's really forward because the path forward seems to go back.
Right.
And so like doing that whole process is like how much of that can you retain to where you can arrive at things before they get there, kind of. And then I feel like once you get to that stage, it's like different lily pads of faith. I think at that stage, then you're pretty much just like, all right, I just keep going. I think like, you know, life's gonna get so lucid here that my dreams is gonna get so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that. You know, it's just I think that it'll just be a different level of faith where you can step into the total alchemy mode where you're like breatharian, whatever, totally breatharian. Because then I just feel like you could, I don't know, for whatever reason, your body will probably stay in position. For one, you have, you know, your posture be in a better place because you're not obstructing it with food for hours at a time. So, like, I feel like once that happens and you can just really sit your body down, like, pretty much, like, put that thing on pause and then go within, like, consciously, like, I think that's the charge up, you know what I mean? And you just continually, because right now it's, like, kind of just, like, repair, you know? So a lot of this shit's just going back into traumas.
Yeah, all day.
You know what I mean? So a lot of dreams is not really being retained, or like you keep getting to this point, and then you get as far as you can, and it shuts off. It's like you keep, you know, kind of coming back down to this reality.
Yeah.
Fix it from this stage, whatever little things you can do, and like it really is kind of like it's a funny thing, man. Like how shit starts and how or where it comes from, as far as like emanation from within, like the way it unfolds outward. It's just, I would just assume that in them stages, from what I've experienced, as far as getting close to that stage, that's probably the charge up. Because then you be like consciously creating your dreams and learning. Like you be like, y'all want to learn everything about this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and you can just do it instantaneously.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that'd just be so gratifying, and then like it, like as far, I don't know, everything's slowing down at the same time. Because if you're not experiencing time like that and you just putting the body down every 90 minutes or something, like, let me hold my beer. Like, you're just putting the body down and then, like, going into REM, learning something more about the universe, coming back. It's, like, kind of like restoring the body fully to where it's, like, I don't know, I feel like you just be totally present to where all the dreams would have to kind of melt into one.
Yeah, I was going to say meet. All the realms kind of meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, where at that point, it's like, it's so obvious. I feel like that you're the
observer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dreams definitely got, like, on the longer liquid fasts and stuff, and just, like, I mean, in general, since changing over to the breath, dreams got way different. I've always been, like, super tapped into my dreams, I feel like, but they definitely just got more, like, I would say I mean, I still have chaotic dreams at times, but in general, there's, like, way more peaceful ones that I remember. I feel like I only remember the dramatic ones, you know what I'm saying? Like, I only remember the really bad ones, but now it's, like, that was a pretty cool dream. Like, that didn't happen for a long time where I remembered, like, a good dream. It's crazy.
Yeah. I guess it's so many, like, that's the thing I'm saying. Like, I think that it gets a little convoluted when you, like, work on this phase of existence and then you go through 90 minutes of sleep. Like, you know, you go out of REM again, go through another 90 minutes of sleep, go through REM again, and now you're, like, picking up in some random place because you eat trash and your dreams are jumbled and like the blood is now in a different part of your body, so everything's different now because your circulation is what it is. But I feel like once you really got nothing in your body and it's just full breath and like full circulation and like you just absorbing sunlight fully because there's no obstruction of the mirror, that I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like, yeah, like how after you prove that shit to yourself, it's kind of like, how do you even go back, you know? It changed, like, proving that you can go vegan.
Right, yeah. There's no going back.
Once you see it, it's like, nah, it's no way.
Yeah. And once you feel it, too.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, the same, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you feel like that's the thing, you know, people really do got to experience it in their body, and then their values got to change like that, because I was doing a lot of things on how I thought they would look or how they're perceived instead of just doing things based on how I felt from the inside out.
Yeah, which I think most people
Yeah.
Are guilty of, for sure.
I just think that the breath fully makes it apparent, like, this is not in alignment, and you can fuck around if you want to.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's just like, okay, roll this dice, play this number. You know what's gonna happen. Yeah. How many times a day you think we say breath?
I don't know, man. Probably about
Man.
as much as Jesus.
Somebody was saying that to me the other day. Like, yo, I wonder how many times a day you say breathe or breath. I was like, it's probably my most number one word now.
Because people do ask me the same shit every day, like about questions that could be answered with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it doing? What's doing it for you? The breath, breathing.
Right. How do I go vegan?
That.
Start with the breath.
Yeah. Let your diet fix itself, motherfucker.
Yeah. I don't even identify with that. I really just feel like I'm on like a density diet. Like I don't even want to say diet, but.
Yeah, but I wouldn't eat dead animals though. I just can't.
No, yeah, definitely no. That's the vegan, I guess, if we're gonna say anything, and probably raw. I don't. Yeah. But in general, like veganism is now is like I don't really feel like I fit with that either.
Yeah, it's a lot of not vegan food, and a lot of people just wearing faux fur and faux suede and leather, and you know, living like driving a Camry. You know
Man, I'm in a '91 Econoline.
Yeah.
Van, like with all like hemp curtains and like, yeah, it's a totally different world in here. But I just I don't like being tied into that group either. But definitely no animals for sure. But veganism has just got so far away from the point. I feel like it just replaced the substances with the same textures and the same satisfactions and the same void. You know what I'm saying? You're still feeling it. Cheeseburger is still a cheeseburger.
It's a crazy trap, yo.
Yeah.
But that's not to say I would eat a dead animal cheeseburger.
No. No. For the record, definitely never going down that route. But, yeah, it's just to say, like, do the breath. Stop running from yourselves and breathe.
Yeah, I don't know how you can go back, but I guess people are in different places, man. I don't know if it's entitlement or if it's addiction or a bit of both.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Anybody that's like gone vegan and said like it didn't work for them, I'm like, I don't know what went wrong, but you can't blame vegan.
Yeah, like you really need to just get back to that breath.
They be trying to blame vegan like it's like a neighbor or something. Like, man, vegan didn't work for me. Like, you what? It's not. You can't just blame it. Like it's this thing that did it to you. Yeah, start with the breath, and it literally all falls into place.
Yeah, it's wild how the structures are. Because people are like, yeah, I went vegan. I ate a bunch of chicken and
right.
Yeah, that
or
don't count.
A bunch of starch or whatever, and it's like, man, you probably did you're starcharian at that point. That's not even. Are you vegan?
Yeah, some of that shit's so acidic. It's like, man, your energy getting just as low.
Yeah. If not lower.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Taking on something so acidic, and it's like your body's like, I need water, yo. Mm-hmm. Give me some water to make sense of all this.
I think that's been a big thing with the breath and liquidarian and all of it is like noticing the dehydration. And again, how it's like a ripple. Like once you have one dehydrating thing, you'd be like, I mean, I guess I could get another dehydrating thing. It kind of goes down this whole like you just start to attract. Yeah, you just like start to want and attract more dehydrating things. But when you're like super in the breath and like on just water or greens, man, that shit does not even sound appealing.
Yo, my decision making abilities diminish rapidly.
Oh yeah, it's like, literally drugs. Food is drugs.
But you know, to other people, they're gonna be like, "This is crazy that you're talking about." Spiral into a smoothie.
I know. But that's just like how numb we all are, man. That's so crazy. That this sounds crazy.
Yeah, like
that always frustrates me when like even mom sometimes would do it. Just be like, "Oh, you're so sensitive now," or like your body just seems so much more sensitive. And I'm like, "No, we're just all really numb. Like, I'm not really sensitive. Like, we're just all really numb."
Yeah, like
and we don't realize how like food is drugs. You've been tripping your whole life.
crazily.
And making decisions from places that, like, are very much not at peace. But.
Yeah, I mean, the ripples.
Yeah.
I just think about the times that whole years of my life were altered because I ate something one time with some person, or like something, or drank one time. The whole year, like, gonna ripple into a bad 6 months here, like,
yeah,
half my year bad. Like, what? Off of one night, like it just rippled.
One moment can change everything.
Cause you just being emotional, made an emotional decision, buddy.
Yeah.
People be like, you need to be emotional, but look. There's a time and a place, but you gotta be all in accord with the core of my. It has to be in the core of my core.
Yeah.
I just can't just be emotional just to reflect it.
Right.
People be like, "Why don't you reflect my emotion?" We're not friends. We're not really cool because you're not reflecting my emotion.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Like what?
I'm like, man, I know about the breath, so I'm Taoist, like, and I'm numb as well.
So what's up?
So I could, come on, like really.
That's funny.
Because you went through the shit that like where you see life from a different place because of the scars, and then so you're already like unflattered by a lot of shit, and then like if you're breathing like that, then you're already like nervous system is good. I'm actually in complete control, and I've seen a lot.
Yeah, yeah. It's so like so much behind like the back of the eyelids, man, or whatever. It's like a canvas. You see so much. You just made me think of that. Like it's so great back there, in there, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how people can like fear that or like I don't know, like be scared to go there, cause it's so like I mean I guess it can be scary depending on whatever, but I don't know. It's such a cool place inside.
It's so satisfying being in there, that place that isn't a place.
Yeah. Like it's like no attachment, no need, no anything. Yeah.
It is.
And it's so much more active than meditation. I gotta say, like, I got a lot of people that are like, is this like meditation? It's way more active. It's not like daydreaming, like you said. Like, you're way more in the now than meditation.
Yeah, I think I don't know how you can be mindful without being aware of the breath. I mean, like the Taoist is obviously endorsing the breath, right? Mm-hmm. So then, you got like dudes like Thich Nhat Hanh. He's like one of the main, I guess he's a monk that a lot of people know about. You know what I mean? From the development of the hippies and all that type of that era or whatever, because he was like protesting against the Vietnam War and stuff.
Yeah. So
a lot of people know about this dude's work, and that's what he always says. Like, to be mindful is to be aware of the breath. Like, I'll be like, yo, this is why. Like, it's really a whole world of people that are aware of it. You know what I mean? It's just like somehow even a person just saying that for decades, it still hasn't penetrated fully. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild, yo.
But I feel like slowly, very, very slowly, it's happening.
Yeah, and I think it's going to definitely probably be a cresting point where an event happens to where it's an apparent thing that people need to be doing, just like they realize high fructose corn syrup and other things or whatever it was, all these different things. A lot of people didn't realize. Some people probably still fucking with high fructose corn syrup in the world, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I'm just saying, like, things that were kind of universally like made aware of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like once the breath hits, yeah, it's gonna be rapid once it hits a certain threshold.
Yeah.
Because that's all these kids are going. I mean, leaving a lot of people with no future anyway.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the way the society is built and the way it's clamping, and so like, it's kind of like, breathe or die, really, like in a lot of ways.
Mm. Yeah, it's vital. Literally.
Because if you get caught up in like the sensory part of being right now, with the way it stimulates the nervous system and the way it burns it out, like you just be burnt out. Even if even if you breath in a city somewhere, you're gonna be burnt the fuck out. You know what I mean? This is crazy.
Yeah.
All this interaction with my body is just chaotic vibration, and it's not bouncing off the walls the same. It's like it's not. You know what I mean? My energy bouncing off of trees and rocks and shit out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really is different, you know? Like, it really, people could be in a whole nother place if they all had, like, you know, I guess a higher or greater inclination to breathe and to preserve areas or, you know, live around plants and shit. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be
Yeah, different atmosphere for sure.
Instead of in buildings that don't breathe and stuff. It's like, it would be a different world once you get more people breathing. That's the priority.
Mm-hmm.
So much change.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I gotta come out there, is what you're saying? No. I do gotta come out there, though.
I'm watching these pups lay in the sun right now.
But you held me hostage for another hour.
Got you.
I do want to come out there, though, so then we could just do this in person.
Yeah.
And it'd be really cool with the pups.
Yeah, let's do it.
But, yeah. That's it. That's all I got, man. I feel like we give away so much stuff for free. And not that it really matters, I guess, but it just be like, that's why I get, not frustrated, but with the DMs and stuff, I'd be like, man, I got so much free information. So does my brother. Like, it's all right here. But
yeah,
you gotta spoon feed people, so.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, you gotta make like 30 of these videos, and then, you know, 10 people will get it. You're like, golly.
Right.
Like,
it's crazy.
I guess less is more, though, you know, but it's like,
yeah,
you really test your patience and compassion.
I just know, like,
and your simplicity.
Yeah, the attention span is so short. Patience is nowhere. Like, yeah. That's where we're at.
Yeah, being patient for people requires mass patience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which I could probably work on myself if I'm being real, but that's just when it comes to my DMs.
I mean,
with the crazy questions and, you know, just a lot of the stuff I always just feel like I figured out myself. It's not to say I'm not open to, like, help, but it's just like, you know, take the initiative for yourself. I feel like is important.
Should be making you weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy.
But anyway, all right, Blair. Guess that's it for this podcast. Any last words of wisdom? Any last things you want to share? No? Just breathe, motherfuckers?
Yeah, it's really about it, man. Like,
yeah.
It's a crazy, I don't know, crazy situation. So, I mean, it would be nice if we could, definitely, if we could hang out, but California crazy. So
I know. That's why I'm like, man, I want to go over there, but it's so nice in Georgia right now. Everything is, like, really peaceful, so it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. But we'll see, maybe. Maybe just shoot out there on some spontaneous stuff. It would be cool to kick it for, like, a week or so. It'd be cool to just really get out of the city. I'm really tired of the city. And highways. Yeah. But, anyway.
And I feel you. Just,
but,
yeah. If when you get some time, yeah, like, I guess when you can come out, I mean, it would be cool. It's just, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Situation, you know, who knows how this shit could turn, but
I really want to go this whole time without wearing a mask, so it'll really suck if we gotta, like, go to Sprouts with masks on. But I'll take that out.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think the one Sprouts might be on the other side of this, you know, city line. So I think it actually might be part of a different city. So we might be able to for now.
Okay. That's crazy that we got to do all that, but yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Retarded. Man, well, all right, Black. I guess that's it for this. Signing off.
Yeah.
I feel like I should say 2020 Tantra, but I'm not going to say it. I'm just, but I am you. We are the same person.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Send me this, I guess. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.